time of touchdown, this one. So what really happened is there's a lunar gravity is acting. At the same time, that is if the thrust is not sufficient, it will fall like a football. Or if it is thrusting more, it will go away from the trajectory. And this controlled manner we are bringing to velocity 2 km per second to 0 is a very crucial. And this 0 should be only at the surface of the moon. If it is 0 earlier, it will fall like a football. And if it is non-zero at the time of touchdown, again it's a hard landing. So that way, the whole process is a very meticulous to ensure that the velocity is to be reduced to 0 at the right moment, the time, at the right location should be there. That's what we are calling. It's a very critical and very complex process, and that's what we are calling a 50-minute stirrer.
So this, remember, is going to be very historic, specifically with regard to Chandrayaan 3. What about the Vikram lander and the Pragyan rover? Take a look at this special report of what are we expecting now. How does the soft landing takes place? What is the sort of equipment used? And of course, what can you expect on Wednesday evening?
Vikram will prepare for rover Pragyaan to carry out its mission right after the successful landing on the south pole of the moon. The rover will then conduct in situ chemical analysis of the lunar surface. As it starts to move, it will leave an indelible mark of India on the lunar surface. The back wheels of the rover have logos of Isro and Ashoka's line emblem. They are not on the same wheels, so the two parallel imprints on one side will create the Isro logo and the other will mark the Ashoka's line emblem. India has already left its mark on the moon during the Chandrayaan 1 mission in 2008. On 14 November 2008, the moon impact probe separated from the Chandrayaan 1 orbiter and struck the south pole in a controlled manner. And with that, India became the fourth country to place its flag insignia on the moon, near the crater Shackleton. The location of impact was named Jawahar Point. Nearly 15 years later, Pragyaan, with a lifespan of 1 lunar day or 14 Earth days, is all set for a much bigger leap. With 26 kilogram mass, 50 watt power and 2 payloads. It will make history for Isro by demonstrating a rover roving on lunar surface, carrying out qualitative and quantitative elemental analysis to derive the chemical composition. For mineralogical composition of the South Pole lunar surface. This is critical for mineral and chemical finding, as well as for ISRO's future manned moon mission, Gaganyaan.
The Indian Space Research Organization was founded in 1969. It was a vision of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. And about 60 years later, we are heading to the moon. It's taken a lot of effort, a lot of achievements and a lot of setbacks as well. Take a look now about some of the highlights that ISRO has achieved over the years that as Indian, you must be very proud of.
वास्तव में अंतरिक्ष में है तो क्या वैसी ही हालत है या कुछ अलग लग रहा है?
India's pride soars high.
ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है आपको?
मैं बगैर किसी झिझक के कह सकता हूँ कि सारे जहां से अच्छा.
Astronaut Rakesh Sharma becomes the first Indian to explore the celestial realm in a joint space mission with what was then Soviet Union. But the country achieved its first astronomical feat much before in 1963. Nike Apache, a two-stage sounding rocket imported from the United States, blasted off from a fishing village near Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala. Over the last 6 decades,
India's space program has evolved enormously. From launch vehicles for satellites, INSATs for telecom, broadcasting, meteorology, remote sensing for satellite imagery, to research and development in space. From Aryabhat, a satellite designed and fabricated indigenously and launched from a Soviet rocket in 1975, to now on course to reach the moon and become the first country to explore its south pole.
Here we have a majestic liftoff of LPM-3 M4 rocket carrying India's prestigious Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft.
Because that's a place where we can get sufficiently enough solar heat, light for power generation. If you go further, there is a possibility that you will not get the full daytime utility.
15 years ago, India's first moon mission performed a detailed search of evidence of water and chemical composition of certain lunar rocks. The sky is the limit for the country's space ambitions. India's first space-based mission to study the sun. Aditya L1 nearing its launch date by the end of August or early September.
Currently, payloads are getting integrated with the satellite, and it will go through a series of testing, including thermovag, vibration, so many things. And after that, we will have the launch. It goes in a PSLV, so that will send a commercial launch. So after that, we are already starting another building a next PSLV, and we are targeting by August end that Aditya can go.
Isro working on the Gaganyaan mission, India's first manned space flight program. Blazing its way through the Earth's final frontier, India establishes itself as a space power and a master of space engineering. Bureau Report, India Today.
So while Chandrayaan-3 is currently trying to find an exact spot for the soft landing on lunar surface and in just about the next few hours, it would also be pertinent to talk about the team of scientists behind. Remember, right now, there will be a lot of work still to be done and still being done by one, Isro Chief S. Somnath and Project Director P. Veramuthuvel. Hear about the team of scientists who must have worked very hard over the years, faced a lot of setbacks, innovations, creativity to get this cost-effective Chandrayaan-3 out onto the lunar surface.
0 plus 5 seconds.
Liftoff normal.
Here we have a majestic liftoff of LPM-3M. The launch has also added a feather in the cap of LPM-3 rocket.
As Chandrayaan-3 inches closer and closer to the moon, it's our ISRO heroes who've made this possible.
जी हाँ, चंद्रयान को सफलतापूर्वक अंतक्षेपित कर दिया गया है.
We sign off. Up next.
On July 14th, we got a glimpse of our scientists who've toiled for years now to make this mission a reality. Leading Team ISRO is Chairman S. Somnath, who is beaming with pride as his team managed to pull off a picture-perfect launch.
Congratulations, India. Chandrayaan-3 has started its journey towards moon. Our dear LVM-3 has already put Chandrayaan-3 craft into the precise orbit around Earth. 170 by 36,500 kilometers was its intended target orbit, and it is precisely there now. And let us wish all the best for the Chandrayaan-3 craft to make its further orbit racing maneuvers and travel towards moon.
And that's just been the beginning of their dream coming true.
Of ISRO scientists in the mission.
These scientists have had sleepless nights for nearly 40 days now, tracking every update, every maneuver. Leading this project is Director P. Veramuthuvel, who hails from Villupuram in Tamil Nadu. A graduate from IIT Madras, Muthuvel has been dedicated towards building the Chandrayaan spacecraft since 2019.
All our spacecraft health parameters are normal, including the power generations in both propulsion module and lander module. Our journey to moon has begun now for the most awaited soft landing. We'll be closely monitoring and controlling the spacecraft from its track Bengaluru. Many critical events are lined up, starting from earthbound maneuvers, insertion into the lunar's orbit, and separation of lander, and set of deboost maneuvers, and finally the power descent phase.
प्रज्वलन और सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन LVM-3.
Remember that heartwarming moment after the launch when ISRO Chief Somnath and another official simply couldn't hide their excitement? This is LVM Mission Director Mohana Kumar, who was in charge of India's Bahubali, the LVM which sent Chandrayaan 3 soaring into space.
I am very happy to report here that the LVM-3 M4 vehicle has injected the Chandrayaan 3 satellite to the precise orbit, and once again the vehicle is proved to be the most reliable heavy lift vehicle of Indian Space Research Organization. Congratulations to the teamwork of Isro family.
So who else is part of Team Chandrayaan? The director of Vikram Sarabhai Space Centre, where the LVM-3 was developed, Unnikrishnan Nair, was in charge of several key functions during the launch. U.R. Rao's Satellite Centre Director M. Sankaran is currently leading the satellite fraternity to meet the national requirements and is part of Team Chandrayaan. A. Rajarajan, the director of Satish Dhawan Space Centre in Sriharikota, gave the go-ahead for the launch. It takes an army to build a spacecraft like Chandrayaan 3, and there are so many more scientists who play an integral part of making this dream a reality. Bureau Report, India Today.
So 23rd August, 6:04 p.m. Stay tuned because India Today will be live from location to tell you all about what that soft landing is going to be, and we wish all the very best to the scientists at Indian Space Research Organization. All right, time for a very quick commercial break. When I get to a disturbing story right after when I return, this has come from a deputy director position level of an officer in the Delhi government who's now facing allegations of rape of a minor girl. Aam Aadmi Party has distanced itself from this individual and instead blamed Delhi police for the late arrest.
As Chandrayaan 3 circles the moon, India's billion breaths are held. Our spacecraft is in final descent, and every Indian heart beats for it as India's historic moon landing nears for our scientists and their mooncraft. Your love, your prayers, your wishes matter. Come on, India, cheer for Chandrayaan. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
as Chandrayaan-3 heads to the moon and will land on August 23rd at 6 p.m. There was another country aiming to land at the exact same place, the moon's south pole, but failed. Russia's first moon mission in 47 years has failed. Russia's Lunar 25 took off for the moon on August 10th, a whole 35 days after Chandrayaan-3 was launched into space, and was expected to reach the moon a day before Chandrayaan. Lunar 25 spacecraft crashed into the moon after spinning into an uncontrolled orbit. Russia's space agency lost contact with Lunar 25 after a technical issue in the spacecraft. Measures taken to locate Lunar 25 were also unsuccessful. The Russian spacecraft was scheduled to land on Monday to explore southern pole of the moon, which scientists think could hold frozen water and precious elements. Lunar 25 was expected to reach the moon in just 12 days, whereas Chandrayaan is taking 40 days. But why is that? Well, the most important factor is the weight. While Chandrayaan-3 weighs a whopping 3,900 kgs, the Lunar 25 is much lighter, weighing just 1,750 kilograms. Now that Russia is out of the race to moon, all eyes are on India's Chandrayaan-3. After successful completion of India's moon mission, India will join an elite league of 3 nations, the United States, Russia and China, to make a soft landing on the moon. Bureau Report, India Today.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi heading to Johannesburg because South Africa is where the BRICS summit is set to be hosted now. South Africa hosting the 15th BRICS summit, for which Prime Minister Modi has also been invited. But as you can see on the other side of your screen, so has Chinese Premier Xi Jinping arrived for the BRICS summit. So on one hand, Prime Minister Modi departing from India, while Xi Jinping arriving for the BRICS summit. This is going to be very crucial because whether or not there are going to be bilateral talks of China and India, that is going to be the big suspense right now. After the line of actual controls military level talks, remember the co-commander level talks, at least 19 rounds have already taken place. Will Modi and Xi Milan be on the cards? Because eventually, remember, as much as the military talks, it will have to be diplomatic conversations that can bring some sort of a resolution. Let's go across to our Foreign Affairs editor, Geeta Mohan, for the latest on that. Geeta, so at least we know now that Xi Jinping will be at the BRICS summit, so will be Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, whether the twain shall meet, that is not yet clear. Geeta.
Well, that's right. What we're given to understand is that there is a meeting that's most likely to take place on the sidelines of the BRICS summit, but there is no confirmation or an announcement yet. For now, there are only 3 countries with which bilateral meetings have been confirmed: Iran, Mozambique and Ethiopia, which is very interesting because the South African president has not only invited the BRICS leaders but also a host of African nations. We are looking at a BRICS Africa outreach program as well. So Prime Minister Modi has a packed schedule for the next 3-4 days, beginning with the business forum and then the leaders retreat. It is at the leaders retreat, if at all an unofficial bilateral meeting is to happen, then a pull-aside or is to happen, Pooja, that could happen today on the sidelines of the BRICS leaders retreat. And that will really be interesting. But otherwise, there are scheduled bilateral meetings that are in place, but names have not been put of leaders who Prime Minister Modi is going to meet. Should the two leaders meet, it will pave the way for Chinese President Xi Jinping's visit to India for the G20 that Prime Minister Modi and the Indian administration will be hosting in September.
And could South Africa become that, so to say, neutral location where Prime Minister Modi and Chinese Premier Xi Jinping could be meeting, and will it yield any results at all? So Prime Minister Modi departing from Delhi to Johannesburg because South Africa is hosting the 15th BRICS summit. They have a rotating membership here where they've been. Now they are going to be the host this year. Heading to South Africa at the invitation of President of the Republic of South Africa, Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa. Soon after arrival, Prime Minister Modi will participate in the BRICS Business Forum Leaders Dialogue and the BRICS Leaders Retreat. Prime Minister Modi is expected to participate in discussions on issues related to economic cooperation, food security and BRICS expansion. As per sources, Prime Minister Modi will also hold bilateral meetings with Iran, Mozambique and Ethiopia on the 24th of August. Meanwhile, Chinese President Xi Jinping will also be in South Africa to attend the summit. The India-China border standoff, remember, is refusing to die down despite 19 rounds of military-level talks. All eyes will be if these two leaders also meet and whether there will be a bilateral meeting or not.
The host country, South Africa, has invited large number of guest countries, besides, of course, the BRICS members who would be present there. The Prime Minister's schedule in terms of bilateral meetings with those leaders who would be present in South Africa is still being developed, and as and when we have details of confirmation of Honorable Prime Minister's different bilateral meetings, we would definitely apprise.
Disturbing details coming in from an incident in the national capital. Did a deputy director position level officer in the Delhi government Women and Child Development Department allegedly rape a minor girl who he was the guardian of? A 17-year-old girl who's 17 now has claimed that she was allegedly raped repeatedly for months and impregnated by Premoday Khaka, Delhi government officer. Aam Aadmi Party questioned even the DCW and the Delhi police, asking why the accused was not arrested immediately. Aam Aadmi Party slammed the Delhi police for allegedly shielding the accused. Delhi government has further clarified that this officer was suspended as soon as the case came to light. The BJP clearly has jumped in as opposition. It's become a huge political showdown, slamming the Aam Aadmi Party, claiming that the accused was handpicked by one Delhi minister, Kailash Gehlot, and therefore now demanding the minister's resignation. They are further questioning the Women and Child Development Minister Ateshi's silence on the issue and taking a jibe at the DCW chief Swati Maliwal. BJP has said, why is she not questioning the Delhi government this time? Meanwhile, DCW chief Swati Maliwal sat on a dharna at the hospital, claiming she was prevented from even meeting the victim. According to the cops, the minor victim is currently in trauma from all that has happened. Swati Maliwal sat at a dharna through the night, asking why is she not being allowed to even meet the victim or her family.
ये जो आदमी है, जो रेपिस्ट है, वो बहुत बड़ा पावरफुल आदमी है। तभी तो दिल्ली पुलिस ने पिछले 8 दिन में अरेस्ट नहीं करा, जबकि वो एफआईआर हुई है, पॉक्सो के सेक्शंस लगे, फिर भी दिल्ली पुलिस ने अरेस्ट नहीं करा। अब वही दिल्ली पुलिस जो अरेस्ट नहीं कर रही, वही दिल्ली पुलिस दिल्ली महिला आयोग की अध्यक्ष को अंदर जाने नहीं दे रही, लड़की से मिलने नहीं दे रही। तो मेरे मन में बहुत सारे सवाल हैं दिल्ली पुलिस को लेकर, उनके कंडक्ट को लेकर, और मुझे लगता है उन्हें गुंडागर्दी बंद करनी चाहिए। दिल्ली महिला आयोग को लड़की से मिलने दें। हम समझना चाहते हैं लड़की की क्या मदद हुई है, नहीं हुई है, कोई दबाव तो उसके ऊपर नहीं है, क्या कॉम्पेंसेशन मिल पाई है, सारा प्रक्रिया दिल्ली महिला आयोग को करना है। तो हमें क्यों नहीं मिलवा रहे दिल्ली पुलिस?
स्वाति मालीवाल जी, जिनके ऊपर ये दारोमदार है कि वो उस बच्ची को न्याय दिलाएं, वो धरना डालकर राजनीतिक प्रपंच कर तफ्तीश में अवरोध क्यों पैदा कर रही है? ये राजनीति का मुद्दा नहीं है। जैसे मैंने कहा, बच्चियां सबकी साझी होती है। ये एक ऐसी घटना है जो पूरे समाज को शर्मसार करती है, और भारतीय जनता पार्टी इस बच्ची के परिवार के साथ, इसके इस वेदना में उसके साथ खड़ी है।
इसका मतलब साफ साफ है कि वहां अधिकारियों को तो जानकारी थी, लेकिन उन्होंने डेटाबेस में नहीं दिया, बल्कि इलीगल तरीके से उस बच्चे को घर ले जाके इस डिप्टी डायरेक्टर ने उसका यौन शोषण किया। ये सीधे सीधे ट्रैफिकिंग का मामला है। ट्रैफिकिंग के बाद सेक्सुअल अब्यूज का मामला है। और सरकार को, जब राज्य सरकार को पिछले 9 दिन से ये बात पता चल चुकी थी, तब वो इस पे हाथ रख के क्यों बैठी थी?
So he was the deputy director at a Women and Child Development Department. He was now becoming the guardian of a minor girl whose father passed away during the COVID pandemic. Then he allegedly raped and impregnated her, and if that wasn't enough, the wife of this officer allegedly provided abortion pills so the pregnancy could be terminated. These are serious charges that have come against the couple. Here's what this detail is about.
Premode Khaka, Deputy Director of Women and Child Welfare Department in Delhi government, tasked to safeguard women and kids in the national capital. This protector turned predator raped and impregnated a 14-year-old girl in his custody. While shockingly, his wife gave abortion pills to the teen. After India Today's report, the husband-wife duo has been taken into custody.
आज हमने 164 का बयान लिया है और उसके बाद हमने 2 लोगों को अभी अरेस्ट किया है। एक हैं श्री प्रमोद खाका, 51 साल उम्र है, बुराड़ी के रहने वाले हैं और ये डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ वुमेन एंड चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट में डिप्टी डायरेक्टर की पोस्ट पे है। सेकंड इनकी वाइफ हैं, सीमा रानी उनका नाम है, 50 साल उम्र है और शी इज अ हाउसवाइफ।
The minor survivor was living with the accused after her father's death in 2020. After the bureaucrat met her at a Delhi church and convinced her mother that he will be guardian to the child.
किसका सस्पेंशन होना है, किसकी गिरफ्तारी होनी है? इस पूरे मामले में एक बच्ची को उसकी बायोलॉजिकल मदर से छीनकर किसी दूसरे व्यक्ति को दिया गया और उस व्यक्ति ने बच्ची को रेप किया। तो इसमें जिस अधिकारी की कोताही है उन सब पर मुकदमा दर्ज किया जाना।
The heinous crime by a top Delhi government official answerable to Delhi Minister Atishi and DCW Chief Swati Maliwal sparked a massive storm. Facing political attacks over inaction and hypocrisy over child rape.
We have issued a notice to the Delhi police. We are also issuing a notice to the government because we wish to understand, one is of course this means a person needs to be suspended, which the government has already done, but at the same time we wish to understand as to where all was he posted in his 20 or plus years of service and what all sensitive posts did he handle and what kind of complaints were received against him during this process.
The opposition BJP tore into the arm.
दिल्ली की जनता जो उनसे एक्सपेक्ट करती है कि दिल्ली सरकार उनके अधिकारों का हनन नहीं करेगी, दिल्ली सरकार का एक वरिष्ठ अधिकारी ये करता रहा एक बच्ची के साथ और उनको जानकारी नहीं थी और जानकारी थी तो क्या कार्रवाई की।
डीसीडब्ल्यू की चेयरमैन तो जहां भी कोई घटना होती है हर जगह आंसू बहाने पहुंच जाती हैं, लेकिन उनके ऑफिस के अंदर अगर ये घटना हो रही है और वो 1-1.5 साल से जो मुझे सुनने में आया 1-1.5 साल से ये घटना हो रही थी और ऐसे किया जा रहा था तो वो उनको नॉलेज नहीं है तो समझ में नहीं आई मुझे तो।
After political attacks and widespread outrage, Chief Minister Kejriwal suspended the accused rapist.
उसको मैंने आदेश दिए हैं चीफ सेक्रेटरी को कि उसको सस्पेंड किया जाए तुरंत प्रभाव से जब तक इंक्वायरी वगैरह चल रही हैं और शाम 5 बजे तक मैंने इसके ऊपर एक विस्तृत रिपोर्ट मांगी। मैं पुलिस से अपील करूंगा कि उसको तुरंत गिरफ्तार किया जाए।
Has the capital shocker exposed the AAP government bigwigs who go about preaching on rape when it comes to crimes in other states? With Arvind Ojha and Rahul Gandhi in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Remember, superstar Rajinikanth had to face backlash because he had touched Yogi Adityanath's feet when he had met him. And now Rajinikanth has put out a clarification on that. And he has said he touches every sannyasi's feet. Rajinikanth has said, I touch every sannyasi's feet even if they are younger. Remember, he's bowing down to Yogi Adityanath. This photograph when he had met him and also other Uttar Pradesh leaders had sparked a controversy because he had bowed down to Yogi Adityanath, who also, of course, remember, is heading for the Gorakhnath temple, and in that area he is a prominent religious figure. Rajinikanth had visited Ayodhya's Hanuman temple And when he met him, he bowed down and he had to face a lot of backlash. Many asking him why would he want to touch Yogi Adityanath's feet, and he said, he's a sannyasi and I touch every sannyasi's feet even if they are younger to me in age. Listen in to Rajinikanth.
ஒரு சன்னியாசி ஆகட்டும் இல்லை ஒரு யோகி ஆகட்டும் அவங்க வயசில் நம்மளோட சின்னவராக இருந்தால் கூட அவர் காலையில் விழுறது என்னுடைய பழக்கம். நான் அதான் செஞ்சேன். இது ஒரு சன்னியாசி ஆகட்டும் இல்லை ஒரு யோகி ஆகட்டும் அவங்க வயசில் நம்மளோட சின்னவராக இருந்தால் கூட அவர் காலையில் விழுறது என்னுடைய பழக்கம். நான் அதான் செஞ்சேன்.
So just to jog your memory, remember the Samajwadi Party, the Congress Party, the DMK had charged at superstar Rajinikanth when he had met Yogi Adityanath in Ayodhya and had touched his feet. To which Rajinikanth said, he's a sannyasi, I touch everyone's feet if they are a sannyasi. Here's what this controversy was about.
The disease vandavanga poona kutti madiriye irupanga.
Superstar Rajinikanth's jailer has smashed the box office records, grossing mega bucks amid fan frenzy. Amid the success of the film, Thalaiva's meet with the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister has sparked a mega political showdown. The superstar was seen calling on Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath for a special screening of the movie and touching the feet of Yogi, who is also the Mahant of revered Gorakhnath Mutt in eastern Uttar Pradesh. Taking a jibe at Rajini's gesture, DMK student wing chief R. Rajiv Gandhi accused the BJP of doing religious politics. Congress MP Karti Chidambaram slammed the superstar, accusing him of bowing down to what he called wild bulldozer. Rajni, who had earlier been on a religious trip of Char Dham Yatra, then headed to Ayodhya unfazed by criticism hurled at him, but not before calling on SP Chief Akhilesh Yadav and paid his respect to the late SP Patriarch Mulayam Singh Yadav. Taking a swipe at Chief Minister Yogi, Akhilesh wrote on Twitter, "People hug when hearts meet."
9 साल पहले बॉम्बे में एक फंक्शन में अखिलेश जी से मुलाकात हुआ था. उस दिन से हमारा दोस्ती चल रहे है. सो आपस में फोन में बात करते हैं.
On Sunday, Thalaiva visited Ayodhya and prayed at the famous Hanumangadi temple in the holy town.
Rajni sir, you are here at for Ram Lila Darshan. How do you see this, sir? Sir, open the catch, open the.
That's open, yeah.
How do you see this, Rajni sir?
Yeah, बहुत भाग्यशाली हूँ मैं. ये बहुत सारा का इरादा था. आज पूरा हो गया. आज पूरा है.
Rajinikanth, who shares special ties with political leaders, had earlier shied away from a political plunge, citing his health. But Thalaiva can certainly not stay away from political limelight. With Samar Srivastav in Lucknow, Bureau Report, India Today.
And this is India Today's exclusive news break. BJP MP from Gurdaspur, Sunny Deol, has declared he will not want to contest the 2024 polls. In an exclusive conversation with Aaj Tak consulting editor Sudhir Chaudhary, actor-turned-politician has said he will quit politics and will not be contesting in 2024 because he does not like the world of politics. Sunny Deol has been celebrating right now as an actor the success of Gadar 2. But he's also been facing flack as a member of parliament, as a politician, for missing from his constituency while it was flooded, and even in the parliament for its absence. Listen in.
2024 का चुनाव आप दोबारा लड़ेंगे?
मैं तो नहीं अभी कोई चुनाव लड़ना चाहता, क्योंकि मेरा चुनाव सिर्फ एज एन एक्टर रहेगा और मुझे लगता है एज एन एक्टर मैं देश सेवा करूंगा जो मैं करता आ रहा था, और मुझे अभी यकीन है कि what I can give to the youth, to the country, is being a good actor and bringing out good projects.
After a very short break, it's a news to cheer about and also marvel at. 18-year-old R. Pragyaan has now gone through to the finals in the Chess World Cup. He'll be up against world #1 Magnus Carlsen, and what a brilliant game that he fought. And this, remember, at a time when for the candidates tournament he's cleared. After Vishwanathan Anand, he becomes now the youngest, and what a pride for India to be entering into the Chess World Cup finals.
Amid the success of the film, Thalaiva's meet with the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister has sparked a mega political showdown. The superstar was seen calling on Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath for a special screening of the movie and touching the feet of Yogi, who is also the Mahant of revered Gorakhnath Mutt in eastern Uttar Pradesh. Taking a jibe at Rajini's gesture, DMK student wing chief R. Rajiv Gandhi accused the BJP of doing religious politics. Congress MP Karti Chidambaram slammed the superstar, accusing him of bowing down to what he called wild bulldozer. Rajni, who had earlier been on a religious trip of Char Dham Yatra, then headed to Ayodhya unfazed by criticism hurled at him, but not before calling on SP Chief Akhilesh Yadav and paid his respect to the late SP Patriarch Mulayam Singh Yadav. Taking a swipe at Chief Minister Yogi, Akhilesh wrote on Twitter, "People hug when hearts meet."
9 साल पहले बॉम्बे में एक फंक्शन में अखिलेश जी से मुलाकात हुआ था। उस दिन से हमारा दोस्ती चल रहे है, सो आपस में फोन में भी बात करते हैं।
On Sunday, Thalaiva visited Ayodhya and prayed at the famous Hanumangadi temple in the holy town.
Rajni sir, you are here at Ram Lila for Ram Lila Darshan. How do you see this, sir? Sir, open the catch, open the.
That's what, yeah.
How do you see this, Rajni sir?
Yeah, बहुत भाग्यशाली हूँ मैं। ये बहुत सारा का इरादा था, आज पूरा हो गया, आज पूरा है।
Rajinikanth, who shares special ties with political leaders, had earlier shied away from a political plunge, citing his health. But Thalaiva can certainly not stay away from political limelight. With Samar Srivastav in Lucknow, Bureau Report, India Today.
History has been created in Indian chess on Monday in Baku as our Pragyaan, 18-year-old Indian Grandmaster, reached the final of the Chess World Cup that's currently on. In a sensational display, Pragyaan defeated Fabiano Caruana to set up a summit clash with world #1 Magnus Carlsen. He's 18-year-old. He's rewritten in the history books now as he reached the final of the Chess World Cup. And in the semi-final, he defeated world #2 Fabiano Caruana of the United States of America in the rapid tiebreakers. Having drawn the earlier 4 games, the action shifted to the 10-minute rapid tiebreaker. Pragyaan won the first game and held on for a gritty draw in the second to set up a summit clash with now world #1 Magnus Carlsen. With this achievement, Pragyaan has become only the second Indian after 5-time champion Vishwanathan Anand to qualify for the prestigious Candidates Tournament in 2024. Here's wishing the teenager all the very best and may he succeed in the finals. One of the youngest grandmasters, Pragyaan, has been making waves, flaunting sacred ash on his forehead, quietly staring into the chess pieces, orchestrating the next big step. At just 18 years of age, Pragyaan has become the first Indian since Vishwanathan Anand in 2002 to enter into the last 4 of the tournament after winning the marathon quarterfinal 5-4 this week. And at such a young age, this boy has shown strong mental fortitude, extreme calm, and the quick thinking to move on from any mistake of the step that he would have made. When he was barely 10 years of age, Pragyaan had become the youngest international master in the history of this game. By his teenage, he had become only the 3rd Indian to trump the 32-year-old Norwegian grandmaster Magnus Carlsen, who's the highest-ranking chess player in the world. He's the son of a bank manager and a homemaker mother. This grandmaster has a special support behind him, and that is his mother, Nagalakshmi, traveling with her son to his international tournaments and is always seen around him. A quiet support, but that surely means the world to this young prodigy. Some of her reactions have gone viral, showing anxiety, confidence, eventually relief and smiles when he wins. In fact, if you remember, even Vishwanathan Anand and his mother were seen alongside traveling to the international tournaments. Here cannot ignore the support of the parents in making of these grandmasters. Now, these young brigade, away from the usual teenage hobbies, are becoming international sensations at a very serious sport. This requires stillness, time and effort. India's squad for the 2023 edition of the Asia Cup has been announced. While most of the players named were fairly predictable, there were a surprise inclusion as well as exclusions. So here's a special report for you to know about what could have become some repercussions for the ICC World Cup.
A little over a week before the 2023 Asia Cup, India have named their squad for the tournament, and it is a star-studded one with Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli and Shubman Gill spearheading the batting lineup. The team were also handed a massive double boost. Shreyas Iyer, who had not been in action since March, has been declared fully fit and will provide solidity in the middle order. The return of KL Rahul, who not only kept wickets but also played a few key ODI knocks earlier this year, will help the team too, even though he might not be fully fit for the opener against Pakistan.
Injuries are part and parcel of the sport. Sometimes you can do everything and still come back and get injured. Bumrah and Prasidh Krishna have worked really hard over the last few months and they fortunately look good now. Shreyas has been past fit. He's done everything. They've already played 3 games at the NCA, 50-over games. KL Rahul, medically, I think you'll probably get a report from the BCCI what exactly is wrong. So I don't want to go into that. But it's a niggle. It's nothing to do with the injury that he had. And from what we've been told, it shouldn't be too bad. So we are hoping that he's okay soon.
Youngster Tilak Verma was also handed a surprise call-up. The 20-year-old has not played an ODI game yet, but impressed during his debut T20I series against the West Indies and has thus been rewarded with a maiden ODI call-up. One player whom many expected to get a recall was Ravichandran Ashwin, despite the fact that he last played an ODI in January of 2022. Yet the experienced off-spinner, who's also a handy bat, was not named in the squad. But perhaps the most shocking exclusion was that of Yuzvendra Chahal, with the leg spinner not even included as a backup. The reason? The team found it hard to accommodate 2 wrist spinners.
Yeah, there was, of course. I mean, he's again, like we spoke about Shikhar before, again, terrific performer for India. But sometimes it's just the balance of the team or the combination. You're looking at guys, Akshar Patel's done really well, who can bat as well. Kuldeep's obviously had a fantastic run at this point. And to fit 2 wrist spinners might be difficult. So, like I said, you can only fit 15. At this point, 17. Okay, we're a little bit fortunate that we can take a couple extra guys. But otherwise, to fit 2 wrist spinners, so unfortunately, one has to miss out. And at this point, I think Kuldeep's a little bit ahead of him. So, gives us a different kind of option, Kuldeep. And unfortunately, he has to miss out.
2 players whose inclusion came as no surprise are Jasprit Bumrah and Prasidh Krishna. Both are currently in Ireland for the 3-match T20I series and both have looked imperious, especially Bumrah, who's returning to action after almost a year. India will begin the 2023 Asia Cup with a game against arch rivals Pakistan, which will take place on September 2nd. Fans are undoubtedly excited for the game and will hope for a good Asia Cup run to best prepare for the ICC World Cup in October. Sports Bureau, India Today.
On that note, I'm wrapping up the first up, but stay tuned. Big political stories coming up right after. Thank you very much. Stay tuned to the first up and India Today.
Massive outrage in Tamil Nadu against the National Entrance cum Eligibility Test for medical college admissions. The ruling DMK held a statewide hunger strike on Sunday, demanding NEET abolition. The stir was spearheaded by Tamil Nadu Minister Udayanidhi Stalin. The strike began after Tamil Nadu ministers offered floral tribute to a photo collage of medical aspirants who allegedly died of suicide over NEET. 8 students have died so far this year, allegedly over NEET exams. Udaynidhi turned emotional on stage and was seen wiping his tears after a suicide victim Anita's video clip was played.
200 out of 200.
Who are you? What authority do you have? Are you a people's representative? You are just a postman. Our R&D Ravi kadiyadu. RSS Ravi. What authority do you have? You have no rights. Makkala sandinga. உங்களுடைய சித்தாந்தங்களை எல்லாம் எங்க தமிழ்நாட்டு மக்கள் போய் சொல்லுங்க. செருப்ப கழட்டி அடிப்பாங்க.
Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, speaking at a wedding event, targeted Governor R.N. Ravi for stalling government plans to ban NEET.
தயவுசெய்து நீட்டுக்கு விலக்கு பெறுவதற்கான முயற்சியில் ஈடுபட வேண்டும் என்று கவர்னத்தில் கேட்டப்போ கொதிச்சு போய் கோபம் அடைஞ்ச கவர்னர் என்ன பண்ணியிருக்காரு தெரியுமா? என்ன சொன்னார் தெரியுமா? அதெல்லாம் முடியாது, அவருக்கு பவரே கிடையாது. ஆனால் இருந்தாலும் அவர் சொல்றாரு, நான் அனுப்பிச்சிட்டேன், இருந்தாலும் என்னிடத்தில் அதிகாரம் இருந்தால் கூட அதை கொடுக்க மாட்டேன், அதை அனுமதிக்க மாட்டேன்.
The couple who got married in the presence of Chief Minister Stalin also turned up at the hunger strike. Both the DMK and erstwhile AIA-DMK governments have adopted resolutions against NEET. Presently, the anti-NEET bill is with the President for her assent. With Pramod Madhav in Chennai, Bureau Report, India Today.
Jana Small Finance Bank. Jama karo, Jana karo.
Good morning and welcome. Thank you for tuning into India Today Television. I am Pooja Shali. Let's begin first with the headlines at the top of 9 a.m. Our top headline coming in from very close to the lunar surface. India's moon mission nears an exciting finish. Less than 35 hours to the moon history. Vikram touchdown set for tomorrow. Prime Minister Modi leaving for Johannesburg. South Africa hosting the 15th BRICS summit. Massive suspense over India-China bilateral. Delhi's alleged rapist Babu and his wife have been arrested. Aam Aadmi Party distances itself from the allegations and of this gruesome incident. Blames the Delhi police instead. Delhi Women Panel Chief Swati Maliwal, meanwhile, sits on a dharna, says, why am I not being permitted to meet the girl and the family? BJP MP Sunny Deol to give up Neta's role. Deol's big declaration on India Today television. Sunny Deol will not contest 2024 elections. Says, I do not like the world of politics. And what an incredible match that was. Indian chess grandmaster R. Pragyaan makes it through to the final of the Chess World Cup, becoming the third youngest to qualify for the candidate tournament after Bobby Fischer and Magnus Carlsen. Remember, he's barely 18 years of age and will now be competing against the world number one, Magnus Carlsen. All right, top visuals coming in from Ladakh, where Rahul Gandhi presently has been bike riding, sharing a lot of visuals, and now interaction with the locals. He's now putting up this image of how he is constantly with the people, interacts with them, and went shopping, of course, because in Leh, he went and bought some local goods from local artisans and the local shops in Leh. This was after a road trip where he had been seen bike riding, interacting now with the local residents and shopkeepers. Rahul Gandhi also met some army personnel in Ladakh. He was clearly on a shopping spree at a very popular Leh's local market where Rahul Gandhi ensured that he met, interacted, got clicked and ensuring interactions with the local residents and children. All smiles there, Rahul Gandhi. This, remember, is a new avatar for Rahul Gandhi to show how he's with the people throughout. Let me go across to my colleague Ashraf Wani, who's tracking the latest coming in from Ladakh. Ashraf, so of course, a very interesting image portrayal also for Rahul Gandhi. That can we say that this is his People's Connect in Ladakh right now?
Absolutely, and some of the sources in the Congress say it is the Bharat Jodo Ya Part 2. Because as earlier Rahul Gandhi himself said that he was supposed to visit Leh Ladakh during his Bharat Jodo Yatra, but that couldn't happen. Now he is visiting Ladakh, and it is the extensive tour. Now today is the fifth day of the Rahul's visit to Ladakh region. Now we are getting information that he is going to come by road to Kargil, then from Kargil to Srinagar also. So it is an extensive program of Rahul Gandhi, not only doing the politics, but in fact enjoying each and every act in the Ladakh region. As you said, yesterday evening he went to the local market in Leh city. He purchased apricots at the rate of 400 rupees per kg from the local vendors, interacted with them. Then he purchased some local handicraft items from the local shopkeepers. And one of the different things what we see in the Ladakh is that most of the shops and vendors are the women from women folk. They do these kind of things, and they are very excited when Rahul Gandhi tried to reach them and interact with them. And in fact, each and every section of the society in the Ladakh region has been so far focused.
All right,
by
Ashraf Wani, yes, telling us about Rahul Gandhi's image building here clearly in Ladakh, reaching out to the people, targeting government at the center for not doing enough for the border issues with China and more. These are some of his earlier visuals of bike riding through the streets in Ladakh. I have an update coming in from the disturbing case of allegations of raping a minor, impregnating her. The officer's wife has now sent to judicial custody. The officer's wife is also in the dock, remember, because rather than report the crime or at least deal with this case, she gave the child allegedly abortion pills to terminate the pregnancy. The girl has opened up to the counsellors, to her family, and revealed what had happened. And she said that after this man allegedly raped her repeatedly over months, while she was in his guardianship, because her father had passed away, she had come to the guardianship of this family. He allegedly raped her, impregnated her. When the wife realized, the girl had actually told the wife about what had just happened, and she then gave abortion pills to this child to quietly terminate the pregnancy. The girl has been facing anxiety attacks and has been speaking to counsellors. The cops have said that she's currently in trauma. Shreya Chatterjee is joining me with the latest on that. Yes, Shreya, go ahead. Judicial custody, why precisely for the wife of the official?
Well, what we're learning, Pooja, that yesterday, Seema Rani, who is the wife of Premadai Khaka, she's been sent for judicial custody after she was produced yesterday in the learned court, which is Cesarii, as we're learning. But as you asked that why was she sent to judicial custody, remember her role in the game was mainly about criminal conspiracy, which has already been established. So that's primarily the reason we've seen that she has been separately sent for JC. The DCP has also confirmed that today Premadai Khaka will be produced in the court. So in all likelihood, the Delhi police will be seeking his police custody. So, I mean, a later part of the day we'll have a confirmation on that. But clearly, the wife has been sent for JC, but in all likelihood, Premadai Khaka will definitely go for police custody as the police will continue investigating the case.
Shreya, please keep tracking the latest on that. So the wife also has been sent to the judicial custody. So it's not just the man for the crime, but the manner in which the wife, in fact, made it worse for that little child who had been in that situation. This is a very disturbing incident that has come to light from Delhi. And it's not just about the case, which is bad enough, but also the details around it. Here's what happened. A 17-year-old girl, who's 17 now, has claimed that she was allegedly raped repeatedly for months and impregnated by one Premadai Khaka, a Delhi government officer at a very senior position. Now, this is because it has become political, and it is as much about the officer, his wife giving abortion pills to the child to terminate the pregnancy, them hiding it, them not getting arrested despite the gruesomeness of this case. Aam Aadmi Party is now facing the dog because it was in their government's department. Aam Aadmi Party questioned the Delhi police, asking why was the accused not arrested in time and immediately. Aam Aadmi Party also slammed Delhi police for allegedly shielding the accused. Delhi government has now clarified that the bureaucrat was suspended as soon as the case came to light. The BJP, on the other hand, slammed the Aam Aadmi Party, claiming that accused was handpicked by one Delhi minister, Kailash Gehlot, and therefore they are demanding minister's resignation. They're further questioning the WCD minister Atishi's silence on this. Taking a jibe at the DCW chief Swati Maliwal, also the BJP has said, why is she not questioning the Delhi government this time? Meanwhile, Swati Maliwal herself sat on a dharna at the hospital late last night, claiming she is being deliberately prevented from even meeting the victim or her family. Here's what Swati Maliwal has said and how the BJP attacking her.
ये जो आदमी है, जो रेपिस्ट है, वो बहुत बड़ा पावरफुल आदमी है. तभी तो दिल्ली पुलिस ने पिछले 8 दिन में अरेस्ट नहीं करा, जबकि वो एफआईआर हुई है, पॉक्सो के सेक्शंस लगे, फिर भी दिल्ली पुलिस ने अरेस्ट नहीं करा. अब वही दिल्ली पुलिस जो अरेस्ट नहीं कर रही, वही दिल्ली पुलिस दिल्ली महिला आयोग की अध्यक्ष को अंदर जाने नहीं दे रही, लड़की से मिलने नहीं दे रही. तो मेरे मन में बहुत सारे सवाल हैं दिल्ली पुलिस को लेकर, उनके कंडक्ट को लेकर, और मुझे लगता है उन्हें गुंडागर्दी बंद करनी चाहिए. दिल्ली महिला आयोग को लड़की से मिलने दें. हम समझना चाहते हैं लड़की की क्या मदद हुई है, नहीं हुई है, कोई दबाव तो उसके ऊपर नहीं है, क्या कॉम्पेंसेशन मिल पाई है, सारा प्रक्रिया दिल्ली महिला आयोग को करना है. तो हमें क्यों नहीं मिलवा रही दिल्ली पुलिस?
स्वाति मालीवाल जी, जिनके ऊपर ये दारोमदार है कि वो उस बच्ची को न्याय दिलाएं, वो धरना डालकर राजनीतिक प्रपंच कर तफ्तीश में अवरोध क्यों पैदा कर रही हैं? ये राजनीति का मुद्दा नहीं है. जैसे मैंने कहा, बच्चियां सबकी साझी होती है. ये एक ऐसी घटना है जो पूरे समाज को शर्मसार करती है, और भारतीय जनता पार्टी इस बच्ची के परिवार के साथ, इसकी इस वेदना में उसके साथ खड़ी है.
इसका मतलब साफ साफ है कि वहां अधिकारियों को तो जानकारी थी, लेकिन उन्होंने डेटाबेस में नहीं दिया, बल्कि इलीगल तरीके से उस बच्चे को घर ले जाके इस डिप्टी डायरेक्टर ने उसका यौन शोषण किया. ये सीधे सीधे ट्रैफिकिंग का मामला है. ट्रैफिकिंग के बाद सेक्सुअल अब्यूज का मामला है, और सरकार को, जब राज्य सरकार को पिछले 9 दिन से ये बात पता चल चुकी थी, तब वो इस पे हाथ रख के क्यों बैठी थी?
This officer was a deputy director at the Women and Child Development in the Delhi government. The girl's father had passed away during the COVID pandemic. They were family friends. He becomes the guardian, takes her in the family's care. When the girl got pregnant and the wife of this man got to know, she gave her abortion pills to quietly terminate the pregnancy. The girl has been facing a lot of trauma, anxiety attacks. The counsellors are in touch with her. But what a gruesome incident. Now remember, these are charges. The matter is being investigated by the Delhi police as well. But it's become a huge political showdown, specifically with regard to Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP. Here are all the details, and what a disturbing incident that's come to light.
Premode Khaka, Deputy Director of Women and Child Welfare Department in Delhi government, tasked to safeguard women and kids in the national capital. This protector turned predator raped and impregnated a 14-year-old girl in his custody. While shockingly, his wife gave abortion pills to the teen. After India Today's report, the husband-wife duo has been taken into custody.
आज हमने 164 का बयान लिया है, और उसके बाद हमने 2 लोगों को अभी अरेस्ट किया है. एक हैं श्री प्रमोद खाका, 51 साल उम्र है, बुराड़ी के रहने वाले हैं, और ये डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ वुमेन एंड चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट में डिप्टी डायरेक्टर की पोस्ट पे है. सेकंड इनकी वाइफ हैं, सीमा रानी उनका नाम है, 50 साल उम्र है, और शी इज अ हाउसवाइफ.
The minor survivor was living with the accused after her father's death in 2020. After the bureaucrat met her at a Delhi church and convinced her mother that he will be guardian to the child.
किसका सस्पेंशन होना है, किसकी गिरफ्तारी होनी है? इस पूरे मामले में एक बच्ची को उसकी बायोलॉजिकल मदर से छीनकर किसी दूसरे व्यक्ति को दिया गया,
और उस व्यक्ति ने बच्ची को रेप किया। तो इसमें जिस अधिकारी की कोताही है उन सब पर मुकदमा दर्ज किया जाना।
The heinous crime by a top Delhi government official answerable to Delhi Minister Atishi and DCW Chief Swati Maliwal sparked a massive storm. Facing political attacks over inaction and hypocrisy over child rape.
We have issued a notice to the Delhi police. We are also issuing a notice to the government because we wish to understand. One is, of course, a person needs to be suspended, which the government has already done. But at the same time, we wish to understand as to where all was he posted in his 20 or plus years of service, and what all sensitive posts did he handle, and what kind of complaints were received against him during this process.
The opposition BJP tore into the arm.
दिल्ली की जनता जो उनसे एक्सपेक्ट करती है कि दिल्ली सरकार उनके अधिकारों का हनन नहीं करेगी, दिल्ली सरकार का एक वरिष्ठ अधिकारी ये करता रहा एक बच्ची के साथ और उनको जानकारी नहीं थी, और जानकारी थी तो क्या कार्रवाई की।
डीसीडब्ल्यू की चेयरमैन तो जहां भी कोई घटना होती है हर जगह आंसू बहाने पहुंच जाती हैं, लेकिन उनके ऑफिस के अंदर अगर ये घटना हो रही है, और वो 1-1.5 साल से जो मुझे सुनने में आया 1-1.5 साल से ये घटना हो रही थी और ऐसे किया जा रहा था, तो उनको नॉलेज नहीं है, तो समझ में नहीं आई मुझे तो।
After political attacks and widespread outrage, Chief Minister Kejriwal suspended the accused rapist.
उसको मैंने आदेश दिए हैं चीफ सेक्रेटरी को कि उसको सस्पेंड किया जाए तुरंत प्रभाव से, जब तक इंक्वायरी वगैरह चल रही हैं, और शाम 5 बजे तक मैंने इसके ऊपर एक विस्तृत रिपोर्ट मांगी। मैं पुलिस से अपील करूंगा कि उसको तुरंत गिरफ्तार किया जाए।
Has the capital shocker exposed the AAP government bigwigs who go about preaching on rape when it comes to crimes in other states? With Arvind Ojha and Rahul Gautam in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Remember, as this gruesome case surfaced, specifically when the girl opened up to the counsellors as she was facing trauma, she was facing anxiety, she had actually gone for some other issue to the doctors when this started to surface, and she eventually opened up. A deputy director in Delhi's Women and Child Development Panel. One, professionally, he's supposed to be the guardian of so many children and women. Two, he takes this girl in his care. He's supposed to be her guardian. He's supposed to be ensuring she's safe and protected because her father had passed away during the COVID pandemic. They were family friends. Who do you trust if not a family friend in a situation like this? And then when she had started to live with them from about 2021, there were repeated rapes, emotional manipulation, and the girl eventually found and realized that she had got pregnant. When she told the wife about it, what happened was the wife giving her abortion pills to quietly terminate the pregnancy and not tell anyone about it. The case surfaced. The girl is currently facing a traumatic phase of her life right now. And while the Delhi police has finally taken into arrest, the big question remains. The FIR was filed on 13th of August. It took over a week. And once India Today started to report on the issue, that is when the Netas started to speak. That is when Delhi Commission for Women said that I absolutely had no information about it. And BJP also jumped in to target the Aam Aadmi Party. This, remember, is as much about betrayal of trust as it is about misuse of power at a level of deputy director's position, knowing that he may possibly be able to get away. As you can see, Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party have distanced themselves and have said that they suspended the bureaucrat as and when they got the information about it. But how can it take so long for even an FIR information to reach either the DCW or even the Delhi government? Over a week it took them to decide what to do before the police arrested and India Today reported about it. We're staying on this big story coming in from the national capital with more visuals and more updates constantly coming in. Remember, Delhi police now parading them, now taking them into arrest, and have arrested the couple as well. But we're looking at this visual. It appears that this was at one of the times when the word got out about the bureaucrat. And deputy director, for those who may not know, is a very senior position in bureaucracy. And clearly, he knew that he would hold a lot of sway and power. But many are now even questioning that did he hold any sort of influence of power in other child organizations? Look at this vehicle. According to our information, the police eventually caught them when the couple was trying to run away in this vehicle. This CCTV footage has come to the access of Delhi police regarding the accused. His name, the bureaucrat's name is Pramoday Khaka and his wife. That early morning yesterday, when of course they realized that the word has got out, it is now starting to be reported. They tried to escape, attempted it, and but clearly the adventure was cut short. And that was when North District Special Staff Team zeroed in on them and subsequently arrested as well. Shreya Chatterjee with the latest on that. Shreya Chatterjee is getting us this visual. Shreya, the fact remains they tried to flee yesterday. And this was almost after a week. The FIR had already been filed. They thought they'll get away, nothing will happen. But when it started to get reported, they realized they will not be able to now get away from the law. Do tell us about this visual that we are running on our screen of the vehicle, the black vehicle in which the couple is believed to have been.
Yesterday, Pooja, when we had actually visited the residence of Pramoday Khaka and his wife, we clearly got to know from the neighbors that at early morning, they had attempted to, escape the scene because the word had gone out. So now the CCTV that we've also got a hand on, which is clearly establishing that at 9:30 a.m. yesterday morning, they tried to escape in a sports car. And what we're also learning that they tried to actually secure bail. They were also in touch with lawyer and they were hoping that there was a possibility that they could get an anticipatory bail, which would not have been possible given the charges that they had attracted in this particular case. So while they had made this attempt, we had seen that the Delhi Police Special Staff was constantly on the hunt of them. And finally, but we can definitely say that the adventure was short-lived. At around 12:30 is when the Special Staff got and zeroed in both of them, and subsequently they were arrested and brought to the Special Staff office. So clearly, this visual proves that this man not only was he hiding for all this while, but he was also making an attempt so that he can actually escape the entire scene. So this is a CCTV that is also now come into the hands of Delhi police and will also be a very crucial part and play a crucial part in their investigation process.
Shreya, stay on with me because this is the vehicle we are told yesterday morning when the word spread out, when it started to get reported, the couple realized they'll have to escape now. This was that vehicle and that is when the police eventually caught them. But it is as much a question on the Delhi police. Why did it take them so long to arrest a couple that clearly had some very serious charges and allegations against them? It will have to be investigated, of course, but even then the charge against them was fairly serious and it was a POCSO case. POCSO case with regard to the child right and a child who was in their custody, a family friend's daughter. And if these charges had come forth, why did it take so long? Shreya, what is the Delhi police saying? Because they even, yes, if the couple tried to escape when it started to get reported, the cops also arrested them a week later when the matter was being reported. So what is the Delhi police stating in this regard? Both of them have been arrested now. What happens now to the probe?
Pooja, what we're learning so far as the investigation process is concerned, at least in these sensitive cases, the police was actually hoping for the 164 statement before the magistrate to be recorded at the earliest before they move ahead with the arrest. The timeline is such that on the 13th when the FIR was registered, subsequently on 14th itself, according to Delhi police sources, they had actually served a notice for the magistrate statement and also sent a notice to the accused. What we also know that the girl, the minor, she's not in the best of her health, and for 2 times when the Delhi police attempted for a magistrate's statement to be recorded, that wasn't allowed by the hospital authorities. So clearly, that caused the delays, what the Delhi police's alibi is. But however, it's glad that they've finally been arrested because clearly, Pooja, it's been established from the CCTV that these people were keeping a close track on the developments, and that is the reason they attempted to make arrests. It was short-lived, but they are people who
tell me a bit about this case, because anyone who's hearing of this, and I know people around me, are absolutely shocked because there are just so many layers of betrayal of trust in this case, professional betrayal of sort of position he was in, personal betrayal. Tell us about this this girl's life and how and when she started to come and live with this couple, and then what have happened, because I reiterate here that these are allegations for now. These will have to be proven against the couple, but nevertheless the details in itself are quite gory. Yes, Shreya, go ahead.
The couple and the minor girl's family, Pooja, they were actually family friends for 20 long years. Now, during the time of COVID, what we are learning that the girl's father had succumbed due to COVID, and subsequently they used to go to a common church. And one of the church officials had decided that because the condition of the girl's family is not in the best of health, that's the reason that they were entrusting Premodar Khaka as the guardian of the minor girl. So this man was entrusted as a guardian in a difficult time. The girl started living with Premodar Khaka and his family, and this was a time period between 2020 to 2021, for 2 long years, when this incident apparently had taken place, and subsequently she was impregnated. The wife gave abortion pills, but the entire incident, why did it come into light in 2023? Because she was getting anxiety bouts, she was getting panic attacks, is when the mother took her to a hospital. Subsequently, it's the therapist who actually unearthed the entire scenario, and she subsequently alerted both the police and the mother about the scenario, after which the FIR got registered.
Absolutely terrible, even the details for the girl to be able to talk about it. But remember, this is a case, it will have to be investigated further. There will have to be further evidence that will have to be brought forth around against the couple. And in this case, for now, they have been arrested and the wife sent to judicial custody for giving abortion pills to the young teenager to quietly terminate the pregnancy. We are getting disturbing visuals from Bihar. There appears to be some sort of communal tensions. We are being reported on an attack on a yatra that was being taken out as well. A lot of arson visuals speaking for themselves right now. There's been stone pelting and vandalism in Bihar. 2 incidents of clashes and arson. Now, the clashes emerged after incorrect information, fake news that was spread over social media of some shrine attacks. Stones were then pelted at a religious yatra in Baga. This looks like a new-like situation, escalation in Bihar. We are being told this is Bihar's Bagaha area and Motihari, where arson and vandalism was caught on camera. It was a Nag Panchami procession that was targeted in Bihar. There was some sort of, as we are being told, that the district magistrate has said there is no truth in any of the incidents that was being spread forward. Mischievous elements tried to vitiate the atmosphere. There was no damage to any shrine, but it led to attacks on the Nag Panchami procession. Aditya Vaibhav is joining with the latest in this. Aditya, go ahead. किस तरह की information आ रही है? कहाँ पे attack हुआ? What are cops and district magistrate telling you, Aditya?
From Motihari.
Go ahead.
Well, exactly. As far as the information transpiring from Motihari is concerned, of course, there are shocking visuals coming in from an area under Mehsi police station of the district, and it has been informed that this is not the only clash that took place on Nag Panchami in Motihari the last day, but as many as 3 different clashes were reported in Motihari, and the other 2 police stations that were involved are Kalyanpur and Darbar. We have been given to understand that the situation is now finally calm after the local administration has plunged in more pair of boots to ensure the proper bandobast there, but then tension continues to simmer. Interesting to note here is the fact that the entire scene unfolded after rumors actually started coming out, but then the district administration has technically denied all such claims, but then the tension continues to prevail and the administration is on its toes. Back to studio.
All right, Aditya, go ahead, tell us what is the situation like presently? Is the arson and stone pelting still on?
No, exactly. The administration has been successful in containing the big batting incidents, and they have actually taken charge of the entire situation, and they are actually pushing forward into things. But then the situation is now reported to be, you can say, calm, but then tension continues to prevail. So this is what we have been given to understand by the local administration, that is also striving hard to identify the people who were actually involved in the entire incident, and also they will try to look into the CCTV footages and also the live video footages that were made available by media and also locals. So we'll have to wait and see what exactly transpires next.
Aditya, also tell me, can we say that this is again social media's negative side that has come for the manner in which fake information, wrong information was being spread, and sometimes deliberately?
Well, exactly. Of course, this is you can say, negative side of social media that actually throttles the rumor mills. But then it is the duty of the administration and the owners on the administration to keep a tab on these things and maintain a vigil, and if necessary, try to nab those who are trying to run such rumor mills. Back to studio.
All right, Aditya, stay on with me. Aditya Vaibhav telling us about Motihari, where at least some of these arson and pelting has taken place. So tell me this, Aditya, what time did this start? Did it happen yesterday evening? This looks like a full-fledged mob that's burning, and first, it's surprising. Sometimes it looks so easy that these people can just go and burn public properties. It shouldn't be this easy at all.
Well, exactly. It all transpired the last, you can say, last day in the second half, when the entire processions were being taken out. Of course, the people and the devotees were stuck in doing rituals and other things owing to the Nag Panchami and Somwari occasions. But then, when the procession was taken out, it was found that at some particular places, they were being targeted. They were actually being targeted via stones and other missile sort of things, but then this is what actually transpired.
All right, Aditya Vaibhav telling us about the visuals in Motihari in different areas as well, where there was stone pelting reported. Can you give us a brief information about, Aditya, what was the information that it was spread, or fake news that was spread, that led to a full-blown communal clash, or at least the attack? Or Aditya, actually, I would suggest, I understand the situation that you're also tracking and you're heading to different locations. Go ahead. I'll give you the breather there right now, and I'll come back to you in just a short while as Aditya Vaibhav telling us about the situation in Bihar, and he'll try to get us more updates and reactions very soon as well. Fake news spread there on the ground in Bihar, leading to communal attacks, clashes taking place. But let's take you to space after a break, because there's no fake news there. It's the correct news of Chandrayaan 3 looking for a spot on the lunar surface to land. And that landing on 23rd of August. And we'll, of course, be live for that. But I want to get you all the updates. After that, it's going to be a big moment for India, and you do not want to miss it.
From the biggest conflict zones
we are at the Hostel Air Base, and this is
to the biggest international moments. A reporter with India's flag on his sleeve and an unrelenting eye on terror, defense and national security. On the road, up the heights, in the trenches, he brings you stories that must unite us, because when it's national interest, it's India first. Monday to Friday, 10 p.m. only on India Today TV.
It's always fun to see one of your favorite celebrities become a showstopper for these couturiers, and a lot of Bollywood made its way to the Couture Week this year in Delhi. Right from Ranbir Kapoor to Bhumi Pednekar, Ananya Pandey, Kiara Advani, Vani Kapoor, you name it, and they grace the runway. Here is all the celebrity action.
The 16th edition of India Couture Week, organized by FTCI, saw Bollywood celebrities turn showstoppers. Right from Ranbir Kapoor to Kiara Advani, one saw a plethora of celebrities spruce up the runway.
I feel like a golden girl. I feel very glamorous, but I also feel very comfortable, and I always have a great time working with Rimzim. And it's always there's lots of chaotic energy at Fashion Week, but somehow I managed to keep my calm, I think.
It's a beautiful, beautiful embroidered jacket, and they decided to go without the shirt with this really interesting tie. They have a nice little emblem on it, and I think it's elegant and cool and suave and new all at once.
It feels like it's just growing on my body, the textile, the fabric. It's so sexy. I love the way it hugs my curves. It just makes me feel strong, like I can conquer anything.
It's about imagination coming to life.
literally about imagination coming to life. And for that, I mean, just look at this. We can literally sit here and stare at it.
While the focus is never on the celebrities, but the celebration of art and craft in India, it never really hurts to see celebrities glam up the runway. Indian influencers spruced up the front rows. Bahar Dhawan to Sukhneet Vadhva, there were plenty of them adding glamour.
So, I mean, I was like literally like, oh my God, what a moment for us. Such great designs, the intricate work, absolutely stunning collection.
In New Delhi with Riya Modi, Lifestyle Bureau, India Today.
As Chandrayaan 3 heads to the moon and will land on August 23rd at 6 p.m. There was another country aiming to land at the exact same place, the moon's south pole, but failed. Russia's first moon mission in 47 years has failed. Russia's Lunar 25 took off for the moon on August 10th, a whole 35 days after Chandrayaan 3 was launched into space, and was expected to reach the moon a day before Chandrayaan. Lunar 25 spacecraft crashed into the moon after spinning into an uncontrolled orbit. Russia's space agency lost contact with Lunar 25 after a technical issue in the spacecraft. Measures taken to locate Lunar 25 were also unsuccessful. The Russian spacecraft was scheduled to land on Monday to explore southern pole of the moon, which scientists think could hold frozen water and precious elements. Lunar 25 was expected to reach the moon in just 12 days, whereas Chandrayaan is taking 40 days. But why is that? Well, the most important factor is the weight. While Chandrayaan 3 weighs a whopping 3,900 kgs, the Lunar 25 is much lighter, weighing just 1,750 kilograms. Now that Russia is out of the race to moon, all eyes are on India's Chandrayaan 3. After successful completion of India's moon mission, India will join an elite league of 3 nations, the United States, Russia and China, to make a soft landing on the moon. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, I have an update coming in from the Delhi alleged rape horror that's come to the light, and now the mother of the young survivor has put forth a letter, has written a letter requesting privacy, and that's absolutely understandable. Survivor's mother has written a letter and has appealed that the young child, the survivor, does not want to meet anyone and has requested not to be contacted by anyone. Remember, even the Delhi police corps had said that the girl, who's a minor, who's now 17 years old, and according to her account, she was being repeatedly raped for the past few months, if not years. And they have said that she's currently in a traumatic state. Her mental health is not at best right now. and it would be advisable that she would not be meeting anyone. This is also in the backdrop, remember, the DCW chief, Swati Maliwal, had sat on a dharna saying that why is she not being allowed to meet either the mother or the girl from the victim side, and perhaps likely many more organizations or individuals may be trying to contact the victim's family, the survivor's family. And now the mother of this young woman had said, do not please contact us right now, we will need privacy. You're looking at the images of the couple who are the accused, the deputy director of the Women and Child Development. It does not get more ironic than this. A Women and Child Development senior bureaucrat, a family friend, and dead with allegations of rape of a child. Arvind Ojha is joining me for the latest on that. Arvind, ये जो चिट्ठी लिखी गई है, जो माँ है इस बच्ची की, और बहुत ही अंडरस्टैंडेबल है ये जो कह रही हैं कि मुझे अभी प्रिवेसी चाहिए, पर ये बच्चे की हेल्थ के बारे में भी बात कर रहे हैं कि प्रिवेसी है, उनका मेंटल हेल्थ भी अभी ठीक नहीं, जो कॉप्स ने भी कहा है. तो हमें थोड़ा बताएं इस चिट्ठी के बारे में.
देखिए, सबसे पहले तो ये बता दूं कि जो इस केस का खुलासा ही हुआ था जब लड़की को एक के बाद एक कई बार पैनिक अटैक आए थे और उसे अस्पताल में दाखिल कराया गया था. उसी दौरान ट्रीटमेंट के दौरान डॉक्टरों को ही पता चला था कि जो बच्ची है उसके साथ किस तरह की हैवानियत हुई थी. उसके बाद भी पुलिस मजिस्ट्रेट के सामने उसका बयान दर्ज करवाना चाहती थी, लेकिन डॉक्टरों ने मना कर दिया था. कल मजिस्ट्रेट के सामने लड़की ने बयान दे दिया है और उसकी मां ने चिट्ठी में बाकायदा ये लिखा भी है कि जो मेरी बेटी है उसने मजिस्ट्रेट के सामने बयान दे दिया है. इस गंभीर स्थिति में और तनाव उनको और उनके परिवार को, खासतौर से उनकी बेटी को नहीं दिया जाए और उनकी जो प्राइवेसी है उसकी रिस्पेक्ट की जाए. देखिए, जिस तरह की लड़की की मेंटल कंडीशन है उसको देखते हुए मां ने बाकायदा अस्पताल प्रशासन को भी ये चिट्ठी लिखी थी और शायद यही वजह है कि जो स्वाति मालीवाल जब मिलने के लिए गई थी तब उनको पुलिस ने रोका और साथ ही साथ अस्पताल प्रशासन ने रोका. देखिए, जिस तरीके से कई महीनों तक जैसा एलिगेशन है, जैसा एफआईआर में लिखा है कि पीड़िता के साथ रेप हुआ और बाकायदा एक तरीके से कहें मेंटल ट्रोमा में थी वो, और उसी को देखते हुए मां ने ये चिट्ठी लिखी है. जब मजिस्ट्रेट के सामने उसका बयान हुआ, दोनों अक्यूज हस्बैंड वाइफ जो फॉर्मर डिप्टी डायरेक्टर थे उनको अरेस्ट किया गया. उसके बाद उसकी मां ने बाकायदा ये चिट्ठी लिखी है जिसमें ये बताया है कि किस तरीके से फिलहाल उनकी बेटी परेशान है और जो माँ है वो परेशान है, तनाव किसकी है, इस वजह से उनकी प्राइवेसी को समझा जाए और उनको परेशान न किया जाए.
All right, so do not try to contact her right away. She's a minor. She's not yet in the best health condition, but there are doctors around, there are cops around, and the mother, of course, is there with the child. And this is in the backdrop of whether it's Swati Maliwal or anyone, whether out of concern, are right now wanting to meet her. But this is, remember, at a time when it's become such a huge political showdown as well. The family of the survivor, absolutely understandable, asking for privacy and are with the doctors right now. About 30 hours to go when India is set to create history, and they will be right now looking for a soft landing on the moon as Vikram lander is looking for the opportunity that with a billion prayers will be hopeful of that soft landing on the lunar surface. Now, as the Chandrayaan is inching closer to the moon, its predecessor, the Chandrayaan 2 orbiter, welcomed Vikram lander in the orbit saying, "Welcome, buddy," to the lander. Isro has been constantly updating us with incredible images on social media. But this two-way communication between the orbiter and the lander has also now been established. On Monday, Isro chairperson briefed Union Minister Jitendra Singh on the health status of Chandrayaan 3 and told him all systems are working perfectly. No contingencies are anticipated. As per the Indian Space Agency, the lander module carrying Vikram lander and Pragyaan rover are expected to touch down on the lunar surface sharp 6 p.m. at about 4 p.m. specifically on Wednesday evening. Of course, India Today will be live at that moment from the location to tell you all about this big event. Listen in to our exclusive conversations with those associated with the projects.
I'm in Isro Ahmedabad and I'm speaking to the director, Mr. Nilesh Desai, sir. Sir, how big is Gujarat's contribution to this massive mission that the entire country currently is proud of?
So, as you may be well aware, that Chandrayaan 3 mission has been conceived after the failure in soft landing during Chandrayaan 2 mission, which was done in 2019. So, after the failure in soft landing, of course, the orbiter mission of the Chandrayaan 2 was very successful, as all of you would have already read in newspaper or heard about it, that Chandrayaan 2 orbiter, which was designed to last for around 1 to 1.5 years, due to the availability of fuel, sufficient fuel, it is now going to last up to minimum 7 years. In 2019, when we were trying to soft land on the moon surface with our lander, due to an anomaly which was developed, I will call it a last mile problem, which is when we were 2 kilometers away, almost 2 kilometers away from the moon surface, due to the tilting of the lander, and there was a software anomaly, due to which instead of soft landing, we ended up in having a crash landing or hard landing. Yes. So after the failure of Chandrayaan 2 landing, Isro and India decided that we should again try for soft landing with our Chandrayaan 3 mission. So that's how Chandrayaan 3 mission was conceived.
भारत का तीसरा चंद्रयान चंद्रयान 3 अब चंद्र के करीब पहुंच गया है और कुछ ही समय में वो सतह पे उतरेगा, तो सबके लिए बहुत बड़ा दिन है। ये हमारा तीसरा मिशन है। पहले मिशन में हमने छोटा सा एक डिवाइस चंद्र पे डाला था। दूसरे मिशन में हमने एक बगी चलाने की कोशिश करी थी, मगर कुछ अंतिम समय में कुछ गलती की वजह से वो बगी पहुंच नहीं पाई। अब तीसरी बार जब हम जा रहे हैं तो हम बगी को ठीक से पहुंचाएंगे, और इस बार इसरो का यही फोकस है कि वो एक बगी चंद्र के दक्षिण ध्रुव की तरफ उतारे और उसको घुमा के वहां की सतह को ठीक से देखें।
Remember, this is no easy task. It takes a lot of effort of years of these scientists to be able to analyze what the lunar surface could be and how could you possibly land it in a cost-effective mission. Now, getting the lander, as you can see clearly, into a horizontal position. It's currently the orbit. To be able to bring it forth closer, get it into a position, then reduce the Vikram lander's speed for it to land properly and have a soft landing, which means does not crash, like we saw with Lunar 25 of Russia, that it lands exactly on that. But that's not all. What about the craters? What about the surface of the moon? And to find out that lunar surface exact spot, that is going to be the third big step and the big test for the Vikram lander. The scientists, of course, are constantly coordinating about, and we have had these images that Isro has shared about what sort of moon surface does it look like. It's absolutely incredible to look at these visuals and to know this is India's indigenous mission that's currently there on the moon. But lander eventually maintaining communication with the rover, maintaining communication with the ground station of Isro. These are some of the challenges that Isro is going to be facing, but they're of course prepared for it. And we of course have over 1 billion prayers sending right now to those scientists, to Isro, to Vikram lander for that soft landing. Now listen in to an exclusive conversation that our news director Rahul Kamal has had with former Isro chief K. Sivan. He was involved with earlier Chandrayaan missions. And now, what are the challenges? Because there is a 15 minutes of terror that scientists refer to. What about that? Listen in.
I want to start by asking you about the lunar mission of the Russians, which crashed very unfortunately over the weekend without being able to land successfully. You know, given what has happened with the Lunar 25, which was Russia's first attempt to land a spacecraft off the moon, and that ending in failure, you know, would that increase the levels of anxiety of the team in the Space Center of Isro at this moment? Does that make you one extra level more anxious?
No, it is not so. First of all, Luna mission failure and this one, they are not related. Luna, actually, that is its own system, its own the sensor, thrusters, and it may have its own characteristics. But we have our own system, our own thruster, our own sensors, which it has been functioning very nicely and without any problem. and till now we are achieved what we want in a perfect way, and I am sure that this will repeat on 23rd also. So we will get a good landing, and we are not getting disturbed by the Luna 25 failure. They are not related, they are not a similar system, they are different system.
Okay.
So we are confident that we will be able to achieve without any problem.
Just ahead of the landing of Chandrayaan 2, you described the final phase of the landing as the 15 minutes of terror. Could you explain in layman's language the complexity involved in that final slow descent, and why is it that most of the lunar missions that have gone wrong over the last few years, including the Japanese and the Israeli ones, have gone wrong just at the last stage, it seems?
See, this lunar mission is a very crucial and very critical and very complex, and that's what we are calling this the entire descent process from 25 or 30 kilometers to touchdown is a 15 minutes terror. The reason is that is when at the starting of the travel descent, the craft used to move with the velocity of about 2 kilometers per second in the horizontal direction. Now this velocity has to be reduced in a controlled fashion, within bracket controlled fashion, to 0. And very interestingly, this 2 kilometers per second velocity is to be made to 0 at the time of touchdown, this one. So what really happened is there is a lunar gravity is acting. At the same time, that is if the thrust is not sufficient, it will fall like a football, or if it is thrusting more, it will go away from the trajectory. And this controlled manner we are bringing to velocity 2 kilometers per second to 0. It's a very crucial, and this 0 should be only at the surface of the moon. If it is 0 earlier, it will fall like a football, and if it is non-zero at the time of touchdown, again it's a hard landing. So that way, the whole process is a very meticulous to ensure that the velocity is to be reduced to 0 at the right moment and time, at the right location should be there. That's what we are calling. It's a very critical and very complex process, and that's what we are calling a 15 minutes terror.
So when at 6:04 p.m. that soft landing takes place, what will it make for India and the Indian Space Research Organization? It is going to be a big moment for our space programs. India will become a key player in space exploration and only the fourth nation after the United States of America, the former USSR and China to be attempting even that soft landing. India will of course acquire the new technology, the manner in which it has been able to, whether it's thrust propulsion or others, and with the lander and the rover separation, it will be able to have that new technology that it has put forth. It will boost the reputation for a cost-competitive space engineering. Over 600 crore of rupees, remember, is cost-effective when other countries have put billions of dollars into their space programs. Isro has done it at a way reduced amount. It will, of course, promote India's space startup, not just for government organizations, but a lot of private players that have come forth. We're looking also, remember, at Mangalyaan, Aditya L1 missions, other missions, specifically even to the Venus that we are aiming to from here on. As I wrap up, I want to leave you with this special story of what will happen on the lunar surface. There is Vikram lander, there is Pragyaan rover. Pragyaan means wisdom or intelligence, and that's exactly what we're expecting from Pragyaan rover as and when that landing takes place. It's not just about intelligence for Isro, but wisdom to the world. There will also be the Isro logo and the Ashoka emblem pasted on Pragyaan rover that will now be seen by the world. Leaving you with that. Thank you.
Vikram will prepare for rover Pragyan to carry out its mission right after the successful landing on the south pole of the moon. The rover will then conduct in situ chemical analysis of the lunar surface. As it starts to move, it will leave an indelible mark of India on the lunar surface. The back wheels of the rover have logos of Isro and Ashoka's line emblem. They are not on the same wheels, so the two parallel imprints on one side will create the Isro logo and the other will mark the Ashoka's line emblem. India has already left its mark on the moon during the Chandrayaan-1 mission in 2008. On 14 November 2008, the moon impact probe separated from the Chandrayaan-1 orbiter and struck the south pole in a controlled manner. And with that, India became the fourth country to place its flag insignia on the moon, near the crater Shackleton. The location of impact was named Jawahar Point. Nearly 15 years later, Pragyaan, with a lifespan of 1 lunar day or 14 Earth days, is all set for a much bigger leap. With 26 kilogram mass, 50 watt power and 2 payloads. It will make history for Isro by demonstrating a rover roving on lunar surface, carrying out qualitative and quantitative elemental analysis to derive the chemical composition. For mineralogical composition of the South Pole lunar surface. This is critical for mineral and chemical finding as well as for ISRO's future manned moon mission, Gaganyaan.
Amid the success of the film, Thalaiva's meet with the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister has sparked a mega political showdown. The superstar was seen calling on Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath for a special screening of the movie and touching the feet of Yogi, who is also the Mahant of revered Gorakhnath Mutt in eastern Uttar Pradesh. Taking a jibe at Rajini's gesture, DMK student wing chief R. Rajiv Gandhi accused the BJP of doing religious politics. Congress MP Karti Chidambaram slammed the superstar, accusing him of bowing down to what he called wild bulldozer. Rajni, who had earlier been on a religious trip of Char Dham Yatra, then headed to Ayodhya, unfazed by criticism hurled at him, but not before calling on SP Chief Akhilesh Yadav, and paid his respect to the late SP Patriarch Mulayam Singh Yadav. Taking a swipe at Chief Minister Yogi, Akhilesh wrote on Twitter, "People hug when hearts meet."
9 साल पहले बॉम्बे में एक फंक्शन में अखिलेश जी से मुलाकात हुआ था। उस दिन से हमारा दोस्ती चल रही है, सब आपस में फोन में भी बात करते हैं।
On Sunday, Thalaiva visited Ayodhya and prayed at the famous Hanumangadi temple in the holy town.
Rajni sir, you are here at Ramlala for Ramlala Darshan. How do you see this, sir? Sir, open the catch, open the.
That's open, yeah.
How do you see this, Rajni sir?
Yeah, बहुत भाग्यशाली हूँ मैं। ये बहुत सारा तो इरादा था, आज पूरा हो गया, आज पूरा है।
Rajinikanth, who shares special ties with political leaders, had earlier shied away from a political plunge, citing his health. But Thalaiva can certainly not stay away from political limelight. With Samar Srivastav in Lucknow, Bureau Report, India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Chandrayaan 3 heads to the moon and will land on August 23rd at 6 p.m. There was another country aiming to land at the exact same place, the moon's south pole, but failed. Russia's first moon mission in 47 years has failed. Russia's Lunar 25 took off for the moon on August 10th, a whole 35 days after Chandrayaan 3 was launched into space, and was expected to reach the moon a day before Chandrayaan. Lunar 25 spacecraft crashed into the moon after spinning into an uncontrolled orbit. Russia's space agency lost contact with Lunar 25 after a technical issue in the spacecraft. Measures taken to locate Lunar 25 were also unsuccessful. The Russian spacecraft was scheduled to land on Monday to explore southern pole of the moon, which scientists think could hold frozen water and precious elements. Lunar 25 was expected to reach the moon in just 12 days, whereas Chandrayaan is taking 40 days. But why is that? Well, the most important factor is the weight. While Chandrayaan 3 weighs a whopping 3,900 kgs, the Lunar 25 is much lighter, weighing just 1,750 kilograms. Now that Russia is out of the race to moon, all eyes are on India's Chandrayaan 3. After successful completion of India's moon mission, India will join an elite league of 3 nations, the United States, Russia and China, to make a soft landing on the moon. Bureau Report, India Today.
Good morning and a warm welcome to India Today. I'm Paulami Saha. These are the headlines we're tracking at the top of this hour. Cops foil Delhi rape accused Babu and his wife's attempt to flee. Wife of accused jailed. Survivor's mother appeals to hospital for privacy. He says, don't want to talk to anyone. India's moon mission nears exciting finish. Less than 35 hours to moon history. Vikram touchdown set for tomorrow. South Africa hosts 15th BRICS summit. Prime Minister Modi leaves for Johannesburg. Massive suspense over India-China bilateral. Two incidents of stone pelting and vandalism in Bihar. Stones pelted at religious yatra in Bagaha. Nag Panchami procession targeted in Bihar. Indian chess grandmaster R. Pragyaan makes it through to the final of the Chess World Cup. Becomes the third youngest to qualify for the candidates tournament after Bobby Fischer and Magnus Carlsen. News coming in right now. New violence accused Amir injured during an encounter with cops. The accused named Amir was shot at during the violence in New. Police personnel were accused of snatching weapons and firing. Encounter took place in Todu area. Shreya Chatterjee is joining me live at the moment. Shreya, tell us more about what exactly happened.
Well, Pauline, the news that is coming in from Nu, this one person whose name is Amir, he's actually been caught from the Aravalli areas of Tauru region, and he was suspected as one of those who was involved in the Nu riot, using obviously the garb of the mountains, but unsuccessfully. The police actually nabbed him. He also got injured in that particular encounter. We also do know that there has been a recovery of cartridges as well as country-made pistols. So this has been a part of recovery, and this person has been arrested. What we're being told that he was a crucial person who played a part in the Nu riots that happened on the 31st of July.
Okay, Shreya, thank you so much for bringing us those details. Shreya Chatterjee, they're reporting on the Nu violence and the investigation which is currently underway. An accused tried to, in fact, flee, which is when he was shot at in an encounter in the Tauru area. You can see those images of the accused in hospital at the moment. His name is Amir. And on the other side of your screens, you can see, of course, images of the violence which rocked Haryana on the 31st of July. Shocking rape horror from the national capital. A minor girl was allegedly raped repeatedly for months and impregnated by Premoday Khaka, a Delhi government officer. AAP questioned DCW and Delhi police, asking why the accused was not arrested immediately. Aam Aadmi Party also slammed the Delhi police for shielding the accused. Delhi government further clarified that the Babu was suspended as soon as the case came to light. The BJP, on the other hand, slammed the Aam Aadmi Party, claiming that the accused was handpicked by Delhi Minister Kailash Gehlot and demanded his resignation. They further questioned WCD Minister, Women and Child Development Minister Atishi's silence on the issue. Taking a jibe at DCW Chief Swati Maliwal, BJP said that why is she not questioning the Delhi government? Meanwhile, DCW Chief Swati Maliwal sat on a dharna at the hospital, claiming she was being prevented from meeting the survivor.
ये जो आदमी है, जो रेपिस्ट है, वो बहुत बड़ा पावरफुल आदमी है. तभी तो दिल्ली पुलिस ने पिछले 8 दिन में अरेस्ट नहीं करा, जबकि वो एफआईआर हुई है, पॉक्सो के सेक्शंस लगे, फिर भी दिल्ली पुलिस ने अरेस्ट नहीं करा. अब वही दिल्ली पुलिस जो अरेस्ट नहीं कर रही, वही दिल्ली पुलिस दिल्ली महिला आयोग की अध्यक्ष को अंदर जाने नहीं दे रही, लड़की से मिलने नहीं दे रही. तो मेरे मन में बहुत सारे सवाल हैं दिल्ली पुलिस को लेकर, उनके कंडक्ट को लेकर, और मुझे लगता है उन्हें गुंडागर्दी बंद करनी चाहिए. दिल्ली महिला आयोग को लड़की से मिलने दें. हम समझना चाहते हैं लड़की की क्या मदद हुई है, नहीं हुई है, कोई दबाव तो उसके ऊपर नहीं है, क्या कॉम्पेंसेशन मिल पाई है, सारा प्रक्रिया दिल्ली महिला आयोग को करना है. तो हमें क्यों नहीं मिलवा रही दिल्ली पुलिस?
हम ये सवाल पूछते जाएंगे और हम तब तक नहीं रुकेंगे जब तक कि इनका हमें जवाब नहीं मिल जाएगा, और हम कैलाश गहलोत जी का इस्तीफा मांगते हैं.
इसका मतलब साफ साफ है कि वहां अधिकारियों को तो जानकारी थी, लेकिन उन्होंने डेटाबेस में नहीं दिया, बल्कि इलीगल तरीके से उस बच्चे को घर ले जाके इस डिप्टी डायरेक्टर ने उसका यौन शोषण किया. ये सीधे सीधे ट्रैफिकिंग का मामला है. ट्रैफिकिंग के बाद सेक्सुअल अब्यूज का मामला है. और सरकार को, जब राज्य सरकार को पिछले 9 दिन से ये बात पता चल चुकी थी, तब वो इस पे हाथ रख के क्यों बैठी थी?
The Deputy Director of Delhi's Women and Child Development Department is in police custody for allegedly raping a minor over several months. The bureaucrat had taken the minor girl in his care after her father passed away. When the minor got pregnant, the Babu's wife gave her abortion pills. Shockingly, the Delhi Commission for Women, headed by Swati Maliwal, had no idea about the predator until yesterday, when India Today reported about it.
Premoday Khaka, Deputy Director of Women and Child Welfare Department in Delhi government, tasked to safeguard women and kids in the national capital. This protector turned predator raped and impregnated a 14-year-old girl in his custody. While shockingly, his wife
gave abortion pills to the teen. After India Today's report, the husband-wife duo has been taken into custody.
आज हमने 164 का बयान लिया है और उसके बाद हमने 2 लोगों को अभी अरेस्ट किया है। एक हैं श्री प्रमोदय खाका, 51 साल उम्र है, बुराड़ी के रहने वाले हैं और ये डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ वुमेन एंड चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट में डिप्टी डायरेक्टर की पोस्ट पे है। सेकंड इनकी वाइफ हैं, सीमा रानी उनका नाम है, 50 साल उम्र है और शी इज अ हाउसवाइफ।
The minor survivor was living with the accused after her father's death in 2020. After the bureaucrat met her at a Delhi church and convinced her mother that he will be guardian to the child.
किसका सस्पेंशन होना है, किसकी गिरफ्तारी होनी है? इस पूरे मामले में एक बच्ची को उसकी बायोलॉजिकल मदर से छीनकर किसी दूसरे व्यक्ति को दिया गया और उस व्यक्ति ने बच्ची को रेप किया। तो इसमें जिस अधिकारी की कोताही है उन सब पर मुकदमा दर्ज किया जाना।
The heinous crime by a top Delhi government official answerable to Delhi Minister Atishi and DCW Chief Swati Maliwal sparked a massive storm. Facing political attacks over inaction and hypocrisy over child rape.
We have issued a notice to the Delhi police. We are also issuing a notice to the government because we wish to understand, one is of course this means a person needs to be suspended, which the government has already done, but at the same time we wish to understand as to where all was he posted in his 20 or plus years of service and what all sensitive posts did he handle and what kind of complaints were received against him during this process.
The opposition BJP tore into the arm.
दिल्ली की जनता जो उनसे एक्सपेक्ट करती है कि दिल्ली सरकार उनके अधिकारों का हनन नहीं करेगी, दिल्ली सरकार का एक वरिष्ठ अधिकारी ये करता रहा एक बच्ची के साथ और उनको जानकारी नहीं थी और जानकारी थी तो क्या कार्रवाई की।
डीसीडब्ल्यू की चेयरमैन तो जहां भी कोई घटना होती है हर जगह आंसू बहाने पहुंच जाती हैं, लेकिन उनके ऑफिस के अंदर अगर ये घटना हो रही है और वो 1-1.5 साल से जो मुझे सुनने में आया 1-1.5 साल से ये घटना हो रही थी और ऐसे किया जा रहा था तो उनको नॉलेज नहीं है तो समझ में नहीं आई मुझे तो।
After political attacks and widespread outrage, Chief Minister Kejriwal suspended the accused rapist.
उसको मैंने आदेश दिए हैं चीफ सेक्रेटरी को कि उसको सस्पेंड किया जाए तुरंत प्रभाव से जब तक इंक्वायरी वगैरह चल रही हैं और शाम 5 बजे तक मैंने इसके ऊपर एक विस्तृत रिपोर्ट मांगी है। मैं पुलिस से वो करूंगा, अपील करूंगा कि उसको तुरंत गिरफ्तार किया जाए।
Has the capital shocker exposed the AAP government bigwigs who go about preaching on rape when it comes to crimes in other states? With Arvind Ojha and Rahul Gandhi in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
News coming in right now. These are the inside details of the grilling of the rapist Babu. He has denied the allegations against him. Accused Premodaya says fake charges of rape have been framed against him. My colleague Shreya Chatterjee is joining us live this morning. Shreya, so the accused in this case, quite naturally, has denied the charges against him. What are the police sources telling you at the moment in terms of his questioning and what they've learned so far?
Well, Palmi, what we're learning right now that yesterday the rigorous interrogation that Premodaya Khaka has faced within Delhi from the Delhi police officials, he's denied all the roles and he said that he has absolutely nothing to do and all these allegations are wrong. However, the Delhi police will obviously not be taking that in face value. There will be an investigation in the case. They will try to unearth from when to when did the girl actually come into living. And remember, it was not a biological child who was actually living. So there are questions that will also be put before him that he is the one. This man is someone who is supposed to entrust people and train them about POCSO. He's someone who drafted the JJB. He was part of the JJB drafting committee. So he's aware of the laws when it comes to the legal rights of children. Even then, when he was this girl who was not a biological child was living with him, why did he not follow the legal procedure? So there are questions that he will face. It's not an easy escape for him as well. So Delhi police police will definitely take this with iron hands. They will also try to gather corroboratory evidence of the people involved in the process. Remember, there's a question again and again coming of a church being involved in the girl actually been sent to him as a guardian. So all these people will be questioned. There will be corroboratory evidences gathered, technical evidence be so it. So there will be a hefty investigation into the matter. His words will not be taken into face value because this is not a man who's not aware of child legal issues. He is the one who's a trainer supposedly about POX, so something he's been booked under, and he was also part of the JJB drafting committee, so he's aware of a lot of things. So somewhere down the line the police will also be taking the entire investigation in a very serious manner.
Shreya, thank you so much for joining us with all of those details. Shreya, of course, is tracking that investigation extremely closely. Now, of course, the accused has denied the charges that have been brought against him. We're shifting focus now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to be in South Africa to attend the BRICS summit. He's going to South Africa at the invitation of the President of the Republic of South Africa, Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa. Soon after arrival, Prime Minister Modi will participate in the BRICS Business Forum Leaders Dialogue and the BRICS Leaders Retreat. Prime Minister Modi is expected to participate in discussions on issues related to economic cooperation, food security and BRICS expansion. As per sources, the Prime Minister is expected to hold a bilateral meet with Iran, Mozambique and Ethiopia on August 24th. Meanwhile, Chinese President Xi Jinping will also be in South Africa to attend the summit. As India-China border standoff refuses to die down despite 19 rounds of talks, all eyes will be on the two leaders as it remains to be seen whether they will hold a bilateral meeting or not.
The host country, South Africa, has invited large number of guest countries, besides, of course, the BRICS members who would be present there. The Prime Minister's schedule in terms of bilateral meetings with those leaders who would be present in South Africa is still being developed.
India's point of view, development dimension and issues that are so crucial and critical for the global south, on which Prime Minister visionary leadership has always been emphasizing, that the solutions and the challenges for the global south, that we all have to collectively work together. There are lots of ideas of Prime Minister Modi's which are being discussed in the BRICS meetings, in the negotiations at the Sherpa level, and this will feed into the leaders' declaration in a couple of days from now.
Joining us right now is Peter van Olselen, who is in fact joining us live from Johannesburg at the moment. Thank you, Peter, for speaking to India today. Give us a sense of what is going to be on the agenda of this BRICS summit, an extremely crucial meeting of BRICS leaders.
Yeah, it is indeed. It's just gone 6:45 in the morning here in Johannesburg, and there really is a lot of hype, a lot of interest around the BRICS summit. I was in the precinct yesterday afternoon, just looking around and seeing, the security has been ramped up. As you mentioned there's over 30 heads of state that are expected to descend on Johannesburg over the next 3 days. Prime Minister Modi is expected to arrive. We have it here at about 1:45 local time here in Johannesburg. He will be landing at Waterkloof Air Force Base, which is about a 30-minute drive from the Sandton Central Business District, which is where everything will be hosted this week. And so many dynamics are at play. As you mentioned, Chinese President Xi Jinping will be in town as well. We know that Lula da Silva, the Brazilian president, has arrived. He arrived yesterday and was welcomed by delegates here. So it really is, there's so many talking points. As you mentioned, a lot of people seem to be cramming for Xi Jinping in terms of this new bloc, this extension of the BRICS bloc, and who will be invited and what kind of agreements will be made in terms of who will be able to join. It's been dubbed as the global north versus the global south, trying to get away from our reliance on US dollar-based economies. So we know Narendra Modi will be, as you said, he will be chatting to a BRICS business forum. He'll also be chatting to the Indian diaspora. A huge amount of expat Indians in South Africa and Johannesburg, so he will be chatting with them a little bit later. And then this evening, a BRICS leaders retreat. So, you wished you could be a fly on the wall on that retreat. As you know, we have Xi Jinping, we've got Narendra Modi. And interestingly, Cyril Ramaphosa, just 2 evenings ago, gave a national television address to the nation outlining South Africa's foreign policy, trying to preempt what his discussions will be this week. We do know that Xi Jinping is on a state visit as well as attending the BRICS summit, but he will also have a bilateral with Narendra Modi at some point over the next 3 days.
Right. You did speak about how the expansion of the BRICS bloc is going to be a focal point of this meeting. We do know that while there are countries like China who are extremely keen on expansion because they do want to see this bloc emerge as a bloc which can in fact challenge Western hegemony, there are countries like India, like South Africa, that have expressed their reservations about the expansion plans.
Well, that's going to be the big talking point. Not only the expansion plan, but who's going to join and what kind of format it's going to take. At the moment, BRICS seems like a fairly solid bloc, albeit that South Africa is one of the smaller economies in that. But Iran is on that list as well. Indonesia is on that list. Nigeria, Argentina. Do you extend it more with an African focus? There are a lot of political games at play here, and China seem to be pulling the strings in terms of who will join this bloc. There's over 20, Ramaphosa said on Sunday evening that over 20 countries have officially applied to extend this bloc. Logistically, it's going to be difficult to see how it will all work. Will they work under this new development bank, which has been set up by the BRICS countries? What kind of currency will it be based on? And who will be able to join? Because you can be sure that not everyone's going to agree on who is going to join, because the trade relations between all these countries is just so vast and different. And it's a real hustle between, cementing these trade relations with certain countries, and certain countries don't have great trade relations with others. So it will be interesting to see, I'm sure at the end of the week that they will announce a possible increase in the bloc. What will it be called and what kind of format will it take? That will obviously be uncovered come Thursday.
Right. Also, of course, from the India perspective, a lot in terms of the focus is on the possibility of a bilateral between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping. Will it happen? Will it not? What are you hearing on the ground?
We are hearing on the ground that it will happen.
Okay.
That Xi Jinping will entertain a bilateral with Narendra Modi. He is quite busy in terms of his schedule. It is a state visit for Xi Jinping as well. So he will be at the Union Buildings with Cyril Ramaphosa. It's a clambering for the Chinese. It just seems like everyone wants a piece. It's not often that you get that opportunity to sit down. But the word on the street is that there will be a bilateral between Narendra Modi and Xi Jinping.
Right. Peter, thank you so much for joining us here on India Today. We'll, of course, keep coming back to you as, of course, that summit begins. And there are all of those meetings that happen, especially that retreat as well, that you said that everyone would like to be a fly on the wall as far as that retreat is concerned. Thank you so much for joining us. We're getting some breaking news that's coming in at the moment. Now, ahead of the third round of the India camp meet, Aghadi leaders are to meet for preparations in Mumbai. Pawar, Uddhav and Congress leaders are in a huddle. Delegation of Aghadi is to meet with the Chief Secretary. Remember that meeting of the third meeting of the India Alliance is expected to happen in Mumbai on August 31st and September 1st. Already there's a meeting that's taking place among Aghadi leaders. To prepare for that meeting, Mustafa Sheikh is joining us live this morning from Mumbai. Mustafa, tell us more about this meeting which is taking place at the moment.
Well, yes, follow me. A meeting has been scheduled for the MVA leaders tomorrow at Hyatt Hotel, where this entire event is going to take place. And Sharad Pawar, Uddhav Thackeray, all the senior leaders from Mahavikas Aghadi will be there to finalize the event schedule for the India meeting, which is going to happen on 31st August and 1st September. Adding to this, Rahul Gandhi will be visiting on September 1st at Mumbai Congress, Maharashtra Congress office, which is Tilak Bhavan, and state leaders will be welcoming him. So that is going to be a grand event for Congress in Maharashtra. In between, about 28 parties is what the India Alliance is planning to invite at this time, and some agendas will also be decided. It is an important meeting in Mumbai because this is the first time that the India opposition meeting is happening in a state which is BJP and other parties ruled. Before this, Bengaluru and Patna was the opposition ruled state, but this is the first BJP ruled state where this event is taking place, and these leaders will be meeting the Chief Secretary of Maharashtra to ask for security covers for the leaders who are coming for this event. So as of now, the preparations are on, and it would be after some time that senior Mahavikas Aghadi leaders like Sharad Pawar, Uddhav Thackeray and Congress leaders will be on one table tomorrow at 4 p.m. at Hyatt Hotel to discuss and finalize the issue and agenda for the India meeting. Back to you.
Mustafa, thank you for joining us with all of those details. Mustafa, they're tracking that meeting which is being held among Aghadi leaders right now to prepare for the summit of the India Alliance in Mumbai. We're slipping into a very short break. Stay tuned. News and updates will continue on the other side of this break.
As Chandrayaan 3 circles the moon, India's billion breaths are held. Our spacecraft is in final descent, and every Indian heart beats for it as India's historic moon landing nears for our scientists and their mooncraft. Your love, your prayers, your wishes matter. Come on, India, cheer for Chandrayaan. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
In politics, everyone has an opinion, but I have the data. Whose stock is rising? Whose graph is falling? Track India's political stock exchange. Unmatched, unmissable data analytics. The only show on News TV when numbers do the talking. India's most credible poll tracker. The Political Stock Exchange. With Rahul Kamal, only on India Today.
News coming in right now. Massive farmer stir in Punjab. Farmers up in arms against the centre after floods. Farmers seek compensation. They march to Chandigarh, but they're halted midway. Cops put up barricades near Chandigarh. Patiala, a tractor mode protesting Kisan. That's what we're learning from Patiala. Those images, of course, coming in from Sangrur at the moment. These are protesting farmers that have tried to, proceed towards the capital, Chandigarh, but have been halted by security forces. After floods, these farmers are seeking a compensation. They're up in arms against the centre. Kamaljeet Sandhu is now joining me live on this. Kamaljeet, tell us about these marches that are happening, these protests that are happening by farmers across the state of Punjab?
In all 16 farmer unions, and let me tell you, around 5,000 farmers, the biggest farmer protest that we're seeing is actually in Longowal, in Sangrur. Where we're starting is in Mohali. Heavy security and barricading being done. We've been told this is being done in tandem with Haryana, Himachal, Punjab, Chandigarh police. So yes, they have been dissuaded by Chandigarh police because they wanted to gherao Chandigarh. They've also said that they wanted to actually meet Punjab Chief Minister. There has been a talk about compensation because of heavy rains. There has been massive losses. Now what we know is, as far as security is concerned, that has been beefed up. There have been nakas which have been put all across, not just Chandigarh but at the border points in Panchkula, in Mohali, in other places. So there is a massive deployment, a massive manpower. The attempt is not to let the farmers in. Now they have been adamant because they're seeking compensation not only from the state but an increased compensation even from the centre. Now what we know is that there's the CAPF which has also been deployed, but yes, there would be every attempt being made, and we've been told at least overnight a large number of farmer leaders were put in detention, house arrest. So they have been who could possibly be leading the march have been put. Now in Sangrur there has been a different situation altogether, because once the farmers were coming in, that is when one of the farmer came under a tractor. Now the police has been saying this is their own fault and this is the reason, but the farmers have been saying it's only because of the police bandobast. There was a clash and that actually led to this particular accident. Now they have put the body and they've taken it to Patiala where a postmortem is going on, but the farmers are agitated. Now they have been saying that this is a symbolic fight and they will continue to actually take it head on as far as the government is concerned, but meanwhile every effort to placate them doesn't seem to be working out. Meanwhile, if you just give you a 360-degree view about how the arrangement is, a 360-degree view, and you would understand how there have been nakas, barricading, everything. So preparation has been put in place to ensure, but we've seen in the past, no matter how the preparation is, the farmers have managed to break down barricade. Earlier also when there were clashes, there were a lot of cops who were injured. So this time there is obviously one part of an experience which says there has to be a heavy deployment, and that is what has been done, especially by Chandigarh police, because the farmers have threatened to gherao it, and at least the support we've been told is also coming from UP and Uttarakhand farmers as well. Now what we've been told is that even though it is Punjab CM, but in a symbolic sense of a fight, all these farmers are coming and protesting and supporting the Punjab farmers in all.
Okay, so there are of course farmers who want to approach Chandigarh, but they're being stopped by the police. So there's some incidents that are being reported as well, an unfortunate one from Sangrur. As far as the government is concerned, what are the efforts, Kamalji, that they are making in order to placate these protesting farmers?
You know, since the farmer agitation in Singhu, what we've seen is there seems to be an escalation, because the farmers now every now and then, and remember at that point of time they do feel that their crops have been spoiled. There have been unseasonal rain, there have been much of the soil which was underwater, so that has actually spoiled the crops. So they are demanding an increased compensation. Now there have been several rounds of meeting which have happened, so this is where they are trying to step up pressure as far as the government is concerned, and that is where the entire mammoth support of the farmer unions coming together to help not just Punjab farmers but keep their voice going on. And remember, the CAPF at this point of time, they are all joining hands. So clearly the deployment being done, but farmers very adamant. And the other part is that with the 65-year-old farmer dying in this, there seems to be not only a dharna which is taking place in Longowal, in Sangrur, but this seems to be a long scale and obviously an attempt to be made. And we know that Chandigarh police try to actually have a meeting with the farmers, trying to dissuade them. They're saying do not do this, but we've seen as far as the farmers are concerned, when it comes to Delhi or for other places, when they come to their demands, they're very, very adamant. And this is where security bandobast now being put in place to ensure there's no untoward incident. There could be a possibility of clash, but we've been speaking to police. They believe that the farmer leaders have been picked up, so things should go peacefully. But yes, this is a situation which is to wait and watch before they can really comment. Meanwhile, on ground, they have already put in deployment.
Right. Kamalji, thank you so much for joining us. Let's watch this report that my colleague Satendra Chauhan sent from Mohali as well.
पंजाब के किसान संगठनों ने आज चंडीगढ़ घेराव का ऐलान किया हुआ है। पंजाब में आई बाढ़ और उसके बाद उपजे हालातों से मुआवजे समेत कई किसानों की मांगे हैं और कल संगरूर में एक किसान की मौत हो गई थी, एक किसान का पैर टूट गया था। उसके बाद से किसान संगठन लगातार गुस्से में है। आप देख सकते हैं पंजाब पुलिस ने जगह जगह नाकेबंदी करके किसानों को चंडीगढ़ ना पहुंचने देने की तमाम कोशिशें की गई हैं। बड़ी भारी बैरिकेडिंग यहां पर की गई है। बैरिकेडिंग के अलावा बड़े बड़े डंपर्स यहां पर लगाए गए हैं ताकि किसान बड़ी संख्या में अगर चंडीगढ़ की तरफ आते हैं तो उन्हें कई किलोमीटर पहले ही रोक लिया जाए। इसके अलावा अगर चंडीगढ़ की बात करें तो तमाम 1 दर्जन जगहों पर बड़े बड़े नाके लगाए गए हैं। उसके अलावा चंडीगढ़ से लगते आसपास के कई किलोमीटर के एरिया में पंजाब पुलिस ने मोर्चा संभाला हुआ है। कुल मिलाकर एक तरफ किसानों की नाराजगी है तो दूसरी तरफ पंजाब पुलिस और प्रशासन ने इस तरह की व्यवस्था की है कि चंडीगढ़ से पहले ही किसानों को दूर रोका जा सके। लेकिन इससे हालात ऐसे बन रहे हैं कि किसानों को लेकर एक तरफ तनाव की स्थिति बनी हुई है तो दूसरी तरफ आप देख सकते हैं जिस तरीके से नाकेबंदी की गई है। कई जगह पर ट्रैफिक की लंबी लंबी लाइनें लग रही हैं, लोगों को परेशानी हो रही है तो किसान और पंजाब पुलिस फिलहाल आमने सामने नजर आ रहे हैं। कैमरामैन गुंजीत कुमार के साथ सतेंद्र चौहान, मोहाली।
And it's an India Today exclusive news break. BJP Member of Parliament from Gurdaspur, Sunny Deol, has declared that he will not contest the 2024 elections. In an exclusive conversation with Aaj Tak consulting editor Sudhir Chaudhary, the actor turned politician said that he will quit politics and will not contest polls in 2024 because he doesn't like the world of politics. While Deol has been celebrating the success of Gadar 2, he's been facing flack for being missing, for being absent from his constituency while it was flooded. Listen in.
2024 का चुनाव आप दोबारा लड़ेंगे?
मैं तो नहीं अभी कोई चुनाव लड़ना चाहता क्योंकि मेरा चुनाव सिर्फ एज एन एक्टर रहेगा और मुझे लगता है एज एन एक्टर मैं देश सेवा करूंगा जो मैं करता आ रहा था और मुझे अभी यकीन है कि what I can give to the youth, to the country is being a good actor and bringing out good projects.
Slipping into a short break, coming up next, India's moon mission nears exciting finish. Less than 35 hours to moon history. Vikram touchdown set for tomorrow. Details on the other side.
Amid the success of the film, Thalaiva's meet with the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister has sparked a mega political showdown. The superstar was seen calling on Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath for a special screening of the movie and touching the feet of Yogi, who is also the Mahant of revered Gorakhnath Mutt in eastern Uttar Pradesh. Taking a jibe at Rajini's gesture, DMK student wing chief R. Rajiv Gandhi accused the BJP of doing religious politics. Congress MP Karti Chidambaram slammed the superstar, accusing him of bowing down to what he called wild bulldozer. Rajni, who had earlier been on a religious trip of Char Dham Yatra, then headed to Ayodhya unfazed by criticism hurled at him, but not before calling on SP chief Akhilesh Yadav and paid his respect to the late SP patriarch Mulayam Singh Yadav. Taking a swipe at Chief Minister Yogi, Akhilesh wrote on Twitter, "People hug when hearts meet."
9 साल पहले बॉम्बे में एक फंक्शन में अखिलेश जी से मुलाकात हुआ था। उस दिन से हमारा दोस्ती चल रहे, सब आपस में फोन में भी बात करते हैं.
On Sunday, Thalaiva visited Ayodhya and prayed at the famous Hanumangadi temple in the holy town.
Rajni sir, you are here at Ramlala for Ramlala Darshan. How do you see this, sir? Sir, open the catch, open the catch.
That's open, yeah.
How do you see this, Rajni sir?
या बहुत भाग्यशाली हूँ मैं. ये बहुत सारा का इरादा था. आज पूरा हो गया. आज पूरा है.
Rajinikanth, who shares special ties with political leaders, had earlier shied away from a political plunge, citing his health. But Thalaiva can certainly not stay away from political limelight. With Samar Srivastav in Lucknow, Bureau Report, India Today.
Countdown begins for the landing of Chandrayaan 3. As Chandrayaan inches closer to the moon, Chandrayaan 2 orbiter welcomed Vikram lander, saying, "Welcome buddy," to the lander. Two-way communication between the orbiter and the lander has also been established. On Monday, Isro chairperson briefed Union Minister Jitendra Singh on the health status of Chandrayaan 3 and told him that all systems are working perfectly and no contingencies are anticipated on Wednesday. As per the Indian Space Agency, the lander module carrying Vikram lander and the Pragyan rover is expected to touch down on the lunar surface around 6:04 p.m. on Wednesday.
I'm in Isro, Ahmedabad, and I'm speaking to the director, Mr. Nilesh Desai, sir. Sir, how big is Gujarat's contribution to this massive mission that the entire country currently is proud of?
So, as you may be well aware, that Chandrayaan 3 mission has been conceived after the failure in soft landing during Chandrayaan 2 mission, which was done in 2019. So, after the failure in soft landing, of course, the orbiter mission of the Chandrayaan 2 was very successful, as all of you would have already read in newspaper or heard about it, that Chandrayaan 2 orbiter, which was designed to last for around 1 to 1.5 years, due to the availability of fuel, sufficient fuel, it is now going to last up to minimum 7 years. In 2019, when we were trying to soft land on the moon surface with our lander, due to an anomaly which was developed, I will call it a last mile problem, which is when we were 2 kilometers away, almost 2 kilometers away from the moon surface, due to the tilting of the lander, and there was a software anomaly, due to which instead of soft landing, we ended up in having a crash landing or hard landing. So after the failure of Chandrayaan 2 landing, Isro and India decided that we should again try for soft landing with our Chandrayaan 3 mission. So that's how Chandrayaan 3 mission was conceived.
भारत का तीसरा चंद्रयान 3 अब चंद्र के करीब पहुंच गया है और कुछ ही समय में वो सतह पे उतरेगा, तो सबके लिए बहुत बड़ा दिन है. ये हमारा तीसरा मिशन है. पहले मिशन में हमने छोटा सा एक डिवाइस चंद्र पे डाला था. दूसरे मिशन में हमने एक बगी चलाने की कोशिश करी थी, मगर कुछ अंतिम समय में कुछ गलती की वजह से वो बगी पहुंच नहीं पाई. अब तीसरी बार जब हम जा रहे हैं तो हम बगी को ठीक से पहुंचाएंगे, और इस बार इसरो का यही फोकस है कि वो एक बगी चंद्र के दक्षिण ध्रुव की तरफ उतारे और उसको घुमा के वहां की सतह को ठीक से देखे.
So while of course everyone seems to be keeping their fingers crossed for the safe and soft landing of Chandrayaan 3, here are the challenges that the mission faces. To get horizontal lander into vertical position, reducing the lander's speed, identifying the right landing spot. That is also going to be, in fact, one of the big challenges that the mission will be facing. In fact, lander maintaining communication with rover. Again, another of the challenges that the mission will be facing. So these are some of the challenges that the mission is expected to face, of course, but that touchdown is expected at 6:04 p.m. tomorrow, August 23rd, and all eyes will be on that. It's the final countdown to Chandrayaan 3's landing. The lander module has established contact with Chandrayaan 2 orbiter. Every day, the Vikram lander is inching closer to the moon. It will now begin a powered descent on 23rd August. Isro has made some changes to ensure that this time the landing is a success. India today is tracking Chandrayaan 3's journey live. Here's the latest.
The Indian Space Research Organization has successfully reduced the orbit of the Chandrayaan 3 mission's lander module Vikram on Sunday. Vikram is on its own journey towards the lunar surface now. Equipped with 4 landing legs and 4 landing thrusters of 800 newtons of force each, Vikram is designed for a soft landing on the moon. It carries within it a rover named Pragyan. Chandrayaan 3 is largely a replica of its predecessor Chandrayaan 2. Chandrayaan 2 was launched in July 2019 in the form of an orbiter and a lander Vikram bearing a rover Pragyan. Vikram entered into orbit around the moon, but the surface mission failed in September 2019. The lander Vikram crashed instead of executing a slow descent. Isro later identified a problem. Based on it this time, Isro has strengthened the lander's legs, lowered its minimum thrust, enhanced the availability of power, and upgraded the landing sequence to a soft landing. The Vikram lander is currently traveling at about 25 kilometers above the lunar surface at a speed of 6,000 kilometers per hour. From this, it needs to come down to a speed of 1 meter per second within seconds. It then further needs to make a sharp 90-degree turn as it starts moving away from its orbit. Isro will need to make some major adjustments at very quick, almost breakneck speeds. To achieve a successful landing, Chandrayaan 3 has lander hazard detection and avoidance cameras that will be used to coordinate with the orbiter and mission control as the lander makes its careful descent approach to the surface of the moon. Vikram, the lander module, also carries Laser Retroreflector Array or LRA. It would carry out a passive experiment to understand the dynamics of the moon system. Once the soft landing is achieved, the rover Pragyan will be deployed on the lunar surface on the South Pole to carry out its own research to find evidence of water molecules.
So we are going to measure it for the first time. What is the kind of profile that will be existing? So you have a probe that will be inserted into the lunar regolith. We will penetrate up to around 10 centimeter for probing. Actually 14 centimeter including the tip. The tip will be actually aiding us to penetrate. So 10 centimeter of the lunar surface will be probed. Temperature will be measured, and basically it will give you the conductivity. This regolith can be a building block for future space bases, lunar bases.
Chandrayaan 3 is the third installment of the Chandrayaan series and represents India's second attempt to achieve a soft landing on the moon's surface. So far, only 3 countries have successfully landed spacecraft on the airless lunar world. Failure of the recent Russian moon mission has put the limelight back on India's Chandrayaan 3.
My colleague Sagai Raj is now joining me live from Bengaluru on this. Sagai, we just in fact listed out the challenges that this mission faces, especially after 2019. All eyes will be on how in fact Isro makes this a successful mission. What are Isro scientists telling you? Have they taken care of all possible contingencies?
Yes, we spoke to the former chairman of Isro yesterday. He said that the scientists in Isro are quite robust and they are working hard on a success of Chandrayaan 3. They have learned from their past mistakes, especially from Chandrayaan 2, and they are quite confident that this time they will be successful. If you notice, there are few changes which has been made. If you notice in Chandrayaan 2, where the scientists had only limited area of landing, where a surface of say half a kilometer on the moon, and there are a lot of craters and boulders on the moon. So there is also a special camera which has been installed in lander this time, which is also called as laser Doppler velocimeter. So this particular camera along with this velocimeter will calculate the distance between the moon and the lander, and it will also calculate whether the surface where this particular lander is going to land is safe enough. There are no hassle for the lander to land, and probably there will not be any kind of problem to turn from vertical to horizontal. So everything has been calculated, and when it gets landed, probably they will have more space this time with their own calculation of algorithm in lander.
Right.
So there's a lot of calculation which has been done this time, and that is the reason scientists are quite confident that this time will be a successful one.
Okay, everyone's hoping, of course, that it is a successful mission. Sagai, thank you so much for joining us with all of those details. Now, my colleague Rahul Kanwal spoke to former Isro chief K. Sivan, and he explained the challenges for Chandrayaan 3 and also the 15 minutes of terror in the final phase of Chandrayaan 2 landing. Listen in.
I want to start by asking you about the Lunar mission of the Russians, which crashed very unfortunately over the weekend without being able to land successfully and a spacecraft off the moon, and that ending in failure. You know, would that increase the levels of anxiety of the team in the Space Center of Isro at this moment? Does that make you one extra level more anxious?
No, it is not so. First of all, Lunar mission failure and this one, they are not related. Lunar, actually, that is have its own system, its own the sensor, thrusters, and it may have its own characteristics. But we have our own system, our own thruster, our own sensors, which it has been functioning very nicely and without any problem, and till now we are achieved what we want in a perfect way, and I am sure that this will repeat on 23rd also, so we will get a good landing, and we are not getting disturbed by the Lunar 25 failure. They are not related, they are not a similar system, they are different system. Okay. So we are confident that we will be able to achieve without any problem.
Vikram lander module of Chandrayaan 3 carries the rover Pragyan. Derived from Sanskrit, the name means wisdom and supreme intelligence. Pragyaan rover is also set to demonstrate that for India on moon, other than its scientific explorations, it will leave the indelible marks of Indian supreme intellect with Isro logo and Ashoka lion emblem on the lunar surface as it moves around. Here's a report explaining how.
Vikram will prepare for rover Pragyaan to carry out its mission right after the successful landing on the south pole of the moon. The rover will then conduct in situ chemical analysis of the lunar surface. As it starts to move, it will leave an indelible mark of India on the lunar surface. The back wheels of the rover have logos of Isro and Ashoka's lion emblem. They are not on the same wheels, so the two parallel imprints on one side will create the Isro logo and the other will mark the Ashoka's lion emblem. India has already left its mark on the moon during the Chandrayaan 1 mission in 2008. On 14 November 2008, the moon impact probe separated from the Chandrayaan 1 orbiter and struck the south pole in a controlled manner. And with that, India became the fourth country to place its flag insignia on the moon, near the crater Shackleton. The location of impact was named Jawahar Point. Nearly 15 years later, Pragyaan, with a lifespan of 1 lunar day or 14 Earth days, is all set for a much bigger leap. With 26 kilogram mass, 50 watt power and 2 payloads. It will make history for Isro by demonstrating a rover roving on lunar surface, carrying out qualitative and quantitative elemental analysis to derive the chemical composition. Mineralogical composition of the South Pole lunar surface. This is critical for mineral and chemical finding, as well as for ISRO's future manned moon mission, Gaganyaan.
Chandrayaan 3 is currently aiming to find the perfect spot for a soft landing on the moon's challenging terrain. All eyes are on ISRO Chairman S. Somanath and Project Director P. Veeramuthuvel. Here's more about the team, in fact, behind India's largest ever space mission.
Here we have a majestic liftoff of LVM-3M. The launch has also added a feather in the cap of LVM-3 rocket.
As Chandrayaan 3 inches closer and closer to the moon, it's our ISRO heroes who've made this possible.
जी हाँ, चंद्रयान को सफलतापूर्वक अंतक्षेपित कर दिया गया है.
We sign off. Up next.
On July 14th, we got a glimpse of our scientists who've toiled for years now to make this mission a reality. Leading Team ISRO is Chairman S. Somanath, who is beaming with pride as his team managed to pull off a picture-perfect launch.
Congratulations, India. Chandrayaan 3 has started its journey towards moon. Our dear LVM-3 has already put Chandrayaan 3 craft into the precise orbit around Earth. 170 by 36,500 kilometers was its intended target orbit, and it is precisely there now. And let us wish all the best for the Chandrayaan 3 craft to make its further orbit racing maneuvers and travel towards moon.
And that's just been the beginning of their dream coming true.
ISRO scientists in the mission.
These scientists have had sleepless nights for nearly 40 days now, tracking every update, every maneuver. Leading this project is Director P. Veeramuthuvel, who hails from Villupuram in Tamil Nadu. A graduate from IIT Madras, Muthuvel has been dedicated towards building the Chandrayaan spacecraft since 2019.
All our spacecraft health parameters are normal, including the power generations in both propulsion module and lander module. Our journey to moon has begun now for the most awaited soft landing. We'll be closely monitoring and controlling the spacecraft from its track Bengaluru. Many critical events are lined up, starting from earthbound maneuvers, insertion into the lunar orbit, and separation of lander, and set of deboost maneuvers, and finally the power descent phase.
प्रज्वलन और सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन LVM-3.
Remember that heartwarming moment after the launch when ISRO Chief Somanath and another official simply couldn't hide their excitement? This is LVM Mission Director Mohana Kumar, who was in charge of India's Bahubali, the LVM which sent Chandrayaan 3 soaring into space.
I am very happy to report here that the LVM-3 M4 vehicle has injected the Chandrayaan 3 satellite to the precise orbit, and once again the vehicle is proved to be the most reliable heavy lift vehicle of Indian Space Research Organization. Congratulations to the teamwork of ISRO family.
So who else is part of Team Chandrayaan? The director of Vikram Sarabhai Space Centre, where the LVM-3 was developed, Unnikrishnan Nair, was in charge of several key functions during the launch. UR Rao's Satellite Centre Director M. Sankaran is currently leading the satellite fraternity to meet the national requirements and is part of Team Chandrayaan. A. Rajarajan, the director of Satish Dhawan Space Centre in Sriharikota, gave the go-ahead for the launch. It takes an army to build a spacecraft like Chandrayaan 3, and there are so many more scientists who play an integral part of making this dream a reality. Bureau Report, India Today.
All eyes, of course, on the soft landing of that mission tomorrow at 6:04 p.m. We're slipping into a very short break. Coming up next, cops foil Delhi rape accused Babu and his wife's attempt to flee. Wife of accused jailed. Details on the other side.
really should be your alternatives to white refined sugar, which clearly is something that you must avoid. Let's talk about what you can use instead of this white sugar. Number one, organic brown sugar. Organic, then all the very better, because this is extremely healthy. Now what it does essentially is that this is processed, but it is made in the most natural way to retain most of sugarcane's nutrition, and that's the reason why this should be an alternative. Coconut or palm sugar, again extremely healthy sources of sugar, which are alternatives as well. Extracted from the flower buds of the coconut palm tree, the sugar has a mild caramel taste and can be used in a number of ways in your delicacies, also for daily consumption. Date sugar, extremely nutritious natural sweetener. Date sugar can be a great addition to your diet. This also is a good alternative. Jaggery or gur, as we know, it has got a world of benefits in terms of what it does to your body. Essentially, a lot of people have spoken about the fact that during pollution, you should be consuming a lot of gur. It's a great alternative to sugar. Also, the fact that it is rich in iron is really an added benefit and added advantage. Raw or unprocessed honey. This too is a great alternative. You can use it in various forms, like you use white refined sugar. It tastes extremely good as well.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 40 and minimum 28 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 28 and minimum 26 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 31 and minimum 26 degrees. Bengaluru, maximum 30 and minimum 23 degrees. Chennai, maximum 32 and minimum 28 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 30 and minimum 23 degrees.
Kerala's public health. All political parties traveling from different parts.
Armed with facts,
Looking at political black.
she takes the news by its horns.
Do you think the future of these students are not hampered?
Fierce, bold, and direct, setting the tone for the biggest stories from every corner and every angle. Expect nothing but the unfiltered truth.
News first, niceties later. Watch me, Nabila Jamal, on India Today.
You are watching India Today.
Preparations are underway in Johannesburg before Prime Minister Narendra Modi's arrival. BRICS Women Forum welcoming Prime Minister Narendra Modi with a Vande Mataram song. Listen in. right, we're going to get you all the details of that big story that we are tracking very closely. That's the BRICS summit where the Prime Minister is attending. I'm Sneha Mordani. A quick check of the headlines in this edition also. South Africa hosts 15 BRICS summit. Prime Minister Modi leaves for Johannesburg. Massive suspense over India-China bilateral. Cops spoil Delhi. Rape accused Babu and his wife's attempt to flee. Wife of the accused jailed survivor's mother appeals to the hospital for privacy. Says don't want to talk to anyone. India's moon mission nears exciting finish. Less than 32 hours to moon history. Vikram touchdown set for tomorrow. Two incidents of stone pelting and vandalism in Bihar. Stones pelted at villages Yatra and Bagha. Nag Panchami procession targeted in Bihar. Indian chess grandmaster R. Pragyaan makes it through to the final of the Chess World Cup, becomes the third youngest to qualify for the candidates tournament after Bobby Fischer and Magnus Carlsen. Some news just coming in. A major terror plot was averted by the Jammu police personnel after an IED was found along the Jammu-Srinagar National Highway in Nagrota Post at midnight. According to the police, there was a generic input about the IED having been planted by terrorists along the highway. Based on the input, an intense search operation was carried out and an IED weighing about 2.5 kilos was detected and later defused by the bomb disposal squad. A case under the relevant sections of the Indian Penal Code has been registered by the police and investigations are on. Meanwhile, the traffic movement on Jammu-Srinagar National Highway has been restored after being halted due to the search operations.
Right now we are standing on Jammu-Srinagar National Highway in Jammu district's Nagrota area, and a short while ago an IED was detected here along the highway. As per sources, the IED was weighing 2.5 kilograms. There were generic inputs that Jammu and Kashmir police had, and based on those inputs, the Jammu and Kashmir police personnel carried out an intense search operation in this entire area, and an IED was detected here along the highway. The IED has been successfully defused by the Jammu and Kashmir police personnel. Earlier we saw that bomb disposal squad also reached here. Bomb disposal squad was also pressed into action, and it was clearly proven that the suspicious object that was found along the highway was an IED, and the IED has now been successfully defused by the Jammu and Kashmir police personnel. So it's a major success for the Jammu and Kashmir police, because there are inputs that are coming from intelligence agencies which suggest that that Pakistan is looking for an opportunity to create problems in Jammu and Kashmir, to create mayhem in Jammu and Kashmir. So there is high alert across the length and breadth of Jammu and Kashmir, and there were generic inputs that Jammu and Kashmir police had that there was an IED that was being planted along the Jammu-Srinagar National Highway. The IED has been diffused by the Jammu and Kashmir police now. With video journalist Siraj Kumar, this is Sunil Bhatt reporting from Jammu-Srinagar National Highway in Jammu's Nagrota for India Today.
कुछ जनरल रिपोर्ट था, कुछ जहाँ पे सस्पिशियस टीम लाई कर रही है, तो उसी बात आधार पे हमने अपनी टीमें सर्च करने लगाई। तो तकरीबन 10 बजे की बात है, 10-20 की, तो अपन ढूंढ रहे थे, 15-20 मिनट लगे हमें। फिर हमने BDS स्क्वाड मंगवाया था, फॉलोड बाय स्नाइपर डॉग्स। तो स्नाइपर डॉग ने यहाँ पे जब हम घुमा रहे थे तो उसने यहाँ पे आके अपनी
आईडी मिली।
जी हाँ।
तो कितनी आईडी थी?
एक आईडी जी।
उसको डिफ्यूज कर दिया गया,
उसको डिस्ट्रॉय कर दिया गया।
डिस्ट्रॉय कर दिया गया,
उसका डिस्ट्रॉय कर दिया गया। अभी आपके सामने यहाँ डिस्ट्रॉय हुआ।
जेनेरिक इनपुट से आपके पास? जी
जी, जेनेरिक इनपुट पे।
तो अभी इस पर कोई गिरफ्तारी हुई है, किसी व्यक्ति पर शक जताया?
आपके सामने अभी यहीं पे हैं फिलहाल, तो जस्ट डिस्ट्रॉय किया। बाकी द लॉ विल टेक इट्स ओन कोर्स। इन्वेस्टिगेशन प्रोसेस सेट इन मोशन है, जैसे इन्वेस्टिगेशन होगी पता चल जाएगा हमें।
थैंक यू।
Mind-numbing rape incident from the national capital. A day after the rapist Babu and his wife were arrested from Delhi, India Today accessed CCTV pictures of the time when the duo attempted to escape. They tried to flee their locality yesterday at about 9:35 in the morning, shortly after the news of this horror broke out. The Delhi government officer says charges framed against him are false. Politics over Delhi shocker refuses to die down, however. AAP has questioned Delhi police, asking as to why the accused was not arrested immediately. BJP has hit out at AAP, claiming that the accused was handpicked by Delhi Minister Kailash Gehlot. Now, in the middle of all of this, the Delhi Commission for Women Chief Swati Maliwal sat on an overnight dharna at the hospital, claiming that she was prevented from meeting the victim. And in the backdrop of Maliwal's protest, the mother of the survivor appealed for the privacy, saying that her daughter doesn't want to meet anyone since she is already going through trauma and a critical phase.
Nobody till now, apart from the Delhi police, has actually met the survivor or the mother. So it is very important that an external agency, which is an autonomous body, should meet the mother and the mother or the survivor. Now, NCPCR, I believe, has met. But have they raised this important question that why is it that the Delhi police was silent for 8 days and did not arrest the man immediately? However, we have issued notices to the Delhi police as well as the Delhi government. I want to proceed with this case, and for that a meeting with the survivor is extremely important. In case the survivor or the mother does not wish to meet me, because I can understand there's a lot of trauma and all that has unfolded can be very, very traumatic and it's a very serious case. So I can be allowed to meet them and they can say that to my face. At least I will be assured.
हम ये सवाल पूछते जाएंगे और हम तब तक नहीं रुकेंगे जब तक कि इनका हमें जवाब नहीं मिल जाएगा और हम कैलाश गहलोत जी का इस्तीफा मांगते हैं।
इसका मतलब साफ साफ है कि वहां अधिकारियों को तो जानकारी थी, लेकिन उन्होंने डेटाबेस में नहीं दिया, बल्कि इलीगल तरीके से उस बच्चे को घर ले जाके इस डिप्टी डायरेक्टर ने उसका यौन शोषण किया। ये सीधे सीधे ट्रैफिकिंग का मामला है। ट्रैफिकिंग के बाद सेक्सुअल अब्यूज का मामला है और सरकार को, जब राज्य सरकार को पिछले 9 दिन से ये बात पता चल चुकी थी, तब वो इस पे हाथ रख के क्यों बैठी थी?
Well, the Deputy Director of Delhi's Women and Child Development Panel is in police custody for raping a minor over several months. The bureaucrat here had taken the minor girl in his care after her father passed away. When the minor got pregnant, the Babu's wife gave her abortion pills. Shockingly, the Delhi Commission for Women, headed by Swati Maliwal, had no idea about the predator until yesterday, is what she said.
Premode Khaka, Deputy Director of Women and Child Welfare Department in Delhi government, tasked to safeguard women and kids in the national capital. This protector turned predator raped and impregnated a 14-year-old girl in his custody. While shockingly, his wife gave abortion pills to the teen. After India Today's report, the husband-wife duo has been taken into custody.
आज हमने 164 का बयान लिया है और उसके बाद हमने 2 लोगों को अभी अरेस्ट किया है। एक हैं श्री प्रमोद खाका, 51 साल उम्र है, बुराड़ी के रहने वाले हैं और ये डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ वुमेन एंड चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट में डिप्टी डायरेक्टर की पोस्ट पे है। सेकंड इनकी वाइफ हैं, सीमा रानी उनका नाम है, 50 साल उम्र है और शी इज अ हाउसवाइफ।
The minor survivor was living with the accused after her father's death in 2020. After the bureaucrat met her at a Delhi church and convinced her mother that he will be guardian to the child.
किसका सस्पेंशन होना है, किसकी गिरफ्तारी होनी है? इस पूरे मामले में एक बच्ची को उसकी बायोलॉजिकल मदर से छीनकर किसी दूसरे व्यक्ति को दिया गया और उस व्यक्ति ने बच्ची को रेप किया। तो इसमें जिस अधिकारी की कोताही है उन सब पर मुकदमा दर्ज किया जाना।
The heinous crime by a top Delhi government official answerable to Delhi Minister Atishi and DCW Chief Swati Maliwal sparked a massive storm. Facing political attacks over inaction and hypocrisy over child rape.
We have issued a notice to the Delhi police. We are also issuing a notice to the government because we wish to understand, one is of course this means a person needs to be suspended, which the government has already done. But at the same time we wish to understand as to where all was he posted in his 20 or plus years of service, and what all sensitive posts did he handle, and what kind of complaints were received against him during this process.
The opposition BJP tore into the arm.
दिल्ली की जनता जो उनसे एक्सपेक्ट करती है कि दिल्ली सरकार उनके अधिकारों का हनन नहीं करेगी, दिल्ली सरकार का एक वरिष्ठ अधिकारी ये करता रहा एक बच्ची के साथ और उनको जानकारी नहीं थी, और जानकारी थी तो क्या कार्रवाई की।
डीसीडब्ल्यू की चेयरमैन तो जहां भी कोई घटना होती है हर जगह आंसू बहाने पहुंच जाती हैं, लेकिन उनके ऑफिस के अंदर अगर ये घटना हो रही है, और वो 1-1.5 साल से जो मुझे सुनने में आया 1-1.5 साल से ये घटना हो रही थी और ऐसे किया जा रहा था, तो उनको नॉलेज नहीं है, तो समझ में नहीं आई मुझे तो।
After political attacks and widespread outrage, Chief Minister Kejriwal suspended the accused rapist.
उसको मैंने आदेश दिए हैं चीफ सेक्रेटरी को कि उसको सस्पेंड किया जाए तुरंत प्रभाव से, जब तक इंक्वायरी वगैरह चल रही हैं, और शाम 5 बजे तक मैंने इसके ऊपर एक विस्तृत रिपोर्ट मांगी है। मैं पुलिस से वो करूंगा, अपील करूंगा कि उसको तुरंत गिरफ्तार किया जाए।
Has the capital shocker exposed the AAP government bigwigs who go about preaching on rape when it comes to crimes in other states? With Arvind Ojha and Rahul Gandhi in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Moving on, tension continues to prevail in Bihar a day after fresh violence was reported in some districts. Around a dozen people, including 3 policemen, were injured in stone pelting during a religious procession in Baga town in West Champaran. The incident took place on Monday, where stones were thrown at a procession of Mahaviri Akhada. Meanwhile, clashes also took place in Motahari, leading to pelting of stones. The situation is now under control. The police is conducting camps across places where clashes took place. Videos of the clashes started circulating on several social media platforms, triggering more violence at other places. Rohit is getting us more details on that story. Rohit, several areas, not one, have been disturbed in some districts of Bihar. Give us an idea about how the current situation is, given that the spread of this news on social media has in fact triggered further violence.
Well, yes, this entire incident erupted yesterday evening when the Mahavir Julus was being taken out in 2 districts, that is the East Champaran and West Champaran, and in at least half a dozen places there were massive clashes that were witnessed between the 2 groups, and the most affected was the Paschim Champaran's Bagha area, where almost we saw that how rampant stone pelting took place, and there were stones that were hurled at the Mahavir procession from people who were standing atop the residences and houses around. And what the police and the administration is claiming, that this could be a conspiracy because stones were kept on the terrace, and from there stones were pelted on the procession. And what triggered the entire incident is the fact that there was a rumor that was spread that some sort of a damage to a temple and also a mosque has taken place, and that rumor in fact really incited the entire violence that has taken place. And in this incident about half a dozen people have been injured. The police personnel have also been injured, and then the police had to rush to the spot to contain the situation. And now in both these districts, that is East Champaran as well as in West Champaran, on the affected places, we are seeing that massive police deployment has taken place. The entire area has been turned into a fortress, but situation is absolutely tense right now, because what we saw yesterday was unprecedented, that stone pelting took place on a procession that was peacefully being taken out on the occasion of Nag Panchami. And what is more shocking is the fact that, Sneha, that just yesterday when this entire incident was taking place in Patna, we saw that the Bihar DGP R.S. Bhatti was taking a high-level meeting with all the district SPs through video conferencing on the law and order situation. So clearly goes on to show that the situation on the ground as far as the crime and communal tension is concerned is spiraling in the state. as far as East Champaran and West Champaran is concerned, the situation right now is normal, but police is also camping in the affected areas to ensure that nothing untoward happens from here on.
Thanking you, Rohit, for getting us up to speed with that. In fact, senior leader of the RJD, Shivanand Tiwari, has also spoken on the stone pelting that we've seen in some areas of Bihar. Listen in.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी का जो है एकमात्र स्ट्रेटजी चुनाव में जन समर्थन हासिल करने के लिए सांप्रदायिक ध्रुवीकरण हो गया है, उस समय से कोशिश यही लगातार होती रही है कि हम जो है उनके मोहल्ले से गुजरें, हम इस तरह का नारा लगाएं, इस तरह का भड़काऊ भाषण जो है वहाँ करें कि उधर वो पार्टी जो है रिएक्ट करके, उस पार्टी के भी नौजवान हैं, जैसे आपका खून खून है वैसे उनका भी खून खून है, उसमें कोई माने उत्तेजित होकर के ढेला और पत्थर चला दिया, मामला जो है बिगड़ जाता है, उसके बाद हिंदू मुस्लिम का पोलराइजेशन हो जाता है। ये एक तयशुदा उनका राजनीतिक जो है माने चाल है, राजनीतिक तौर तरीका है।
In other news, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to be in South Africa to attend the BRICS summit. He is going to South Africa at the invitation of the President of the Republic of South Africa, Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa. Soon after arrival, the Prime Minister will participate in the BRICS Business Forum Leaders Dialogue and the BRICS Leaders Retreat. The Prime Minister is expected to participate in discussions on issues related to economic cooperation, food security and BRICS expansion. As per sources, the Prime Minister is holding bilateral meeting with Iran, Mozambique and Ethiopia on the 24th of August. The Chinese President also is going to be in South Africa to attend the summit as the India-China border standoff refuses to die down in spite of 19 rounds of talks. All eyes are going to be on the two leaders as it remains to be seen whether they will hold a bilateral meeting or not.
The host country, South Africa, has invited large number of guest countries, besides, of course, the BRICS members who would be present there. The Prime Minister's schedule in terms of bilateral meetings with those leaders who would be present in South Africa is still being developed.
India's point of view, development dimension and issues that are so crucial and critical for the global South, on which Prime Minister visionary leadership has always been emphasizing, that the solutions and the challenges for the global South, that we all have to collectively work together. There are lots of ideas of Prime Minister Modi's which are being discussed in the BRICS meetings, in the negotiations at the Sherpa level, and this will feed into the leaders' declaration in a couple of days from now.
Joining us right now is Peter Fan from Johannesburg. Thank you for your time. I just want to get a perspective from what really is on the agenda as far as the BRICS summit is concerned, as far as the member countries and the agenda is concerned.
Well, a very good morning to you from a sunny Johannesburg. Yes, it's all systems go here. Yesterday, huge amounts of security were in the Santon precinct. As we know now, Narendra Modi has left India and is expected here in Johannesburg, just checking my times, at about 1:45 this afternoon, where he will make his way from Waterkloof Air Force Base to Santon. I was there yesterday. Lots of posters welcoming the Indian Prime Minister, really looking forward to having all these world leaders. But behind the scenes, it's going to be lots of talks on the possible expansion of the BRICS summit. I'll be heading over to Santon in about half an hour or so. The traffic is really, really busy here. So Narendra Modi, just checking the schedule, at 4 o'clock this afternoon, local time, he will be attending the BRICS Business Forum Leaders Dialogue. Be interesting, as I said earlier, to be a fly on the wall there. Xi Jinping possibly will be in that business briefing as well. And then at 6 o'clock this evening, the BRICS Leaders Retreat, which is, I guess, a more relaxed environment. That's where the leaders will possibly have an early dinner and possibly, get themselves settled for the days ahead. And then, that's basically what's on the agenda for today, with tomorrow more business meetings, and we should get a more clearer idea of what meetings will be scheduled for tomorrow.
All right, I'm going to thank you for getting us those details. We'll, of course, Peter, keep connecting with you for more on that big story that we are tracking as far as the 15th BRICS summit is concerned. Bloc expansion, like Peter was saying, trade in national currencies among top agenda items here. More news coming in. Politics over. Rajini touching Yogi Adityanath's feet. Congress leader says Yogi will be the new Prime Minister. Udit Raj says Rajni showed courtesy to the next Prime Minister. Talks doing rounds that Yogi is the next PM is what Congress leader Udit Raj has said.
अब ये तो है, लेकिन अभी बहस चल रही है कि आगे या भविष्य में योगी जी को प्राइम मिनिस्टर के रूप में देखा जा रहा है, वरना यह कटसी तो रजनीकांत जी ने प्रधानमंत्री के लिए तो नहीं दिखाई, तो उनको उनमें एक झलक देख रहे हैं प्राइम मिनिस्टर, फ्यूचर प्राइम मिनिस्टर का। यह गलियारों में चर्चा हो रही है।
யோகி ஆகட்டும், அவங்க வயசுல நம்மளோட சின்னவளா இருந்தா கூட ஒரு காலையில விழுறது என்னுடைய பழக்கம். நான் அதான் செஞ்சேன். இது ஒரு சன்னியாசி ஆகட்டும் இல்லை ஒரு யோகி ஆகட்டும், அவங்க வயசுல நம்மளோட சின்னவளா இருந்தா கூட ஒரு காலையில விழுறது என்னுடைய பழக்கம். நான் அதான் செஞ்சேன்.
There's more details on that story, Rahul. In fact, this is Udit Raj commenting on the fact that indeed Yogi Adityanath is going to be projected by the BJP as the next Prime Minister of the country. Is a Congress leader. What is it that he's trying to get at, really?
Well, it seems that the Congress leader Udit Raj has taken a jibe at film star Rajinikanth, saying that in an anticipation that in coming days Yogi Adityanath will be declared as the next Prime Minister of the country, and that's why Rajinikanth had touched his feet. And in fact, he said that speculations are rife and there are talks making around that Yogi Adityanath will be projected as the next Prime Minister of the country, and he'll be becoming the next Prime Minister of the country. And that's why the cutsy that Rajinikanth had shown, this was the main reason. Now Rajinikanth has already clarified on this issue. He said that be it sannyasi or yogi, whenever he's he come across such people, he always touch their feet. So clearly it seems that by making that jibe and by taking that pot shot at Rajinikanth, clearly it seems that he has started a political war of words. But clearly BJP is saying that this only shows that how Congress party is scared of their leaders, and this clearly shows that they are not confident that they are going to come in power in 2024. So we all know that Rajinikanth has been touring Uttar Pradesh, not just Yogi Adityanath. In fact, he had also met Samajwadi Party leader Akhilesh Yadav, Raja Bhaiya. So clearly he was only meeting people and showing respect and courtesy. But it seems that Congress leaders are not impressed, and specifically Udit Raj, he has not. He has spoken about his mind and clearly said that in an anticipation this step was taken by Rajinikanth. Clearly it seems that this is certainly going to initiate a war of words between BJP and other opposition parties.
Right. Thanking you, Rahul, for the moment, for getting us those details. It's time for a quick break. Here on the other side, India's moon mission nears an exciting finish. Less than 35 hours to moon history. Vikram touchdown, all set for tomorrow.
You are watching India Today.
From the biggest conflict zones
We are at the hostile airbase and this is
to the biggest international moments, a reporter with India's flag on his sleeve and an unrelenting eye on terror, defense and national security, on the road, up the heights, in the trenches. He brings you stories that must unite us, because when it's national interest, it's India first. Monday to Friday, 10 p.m. only on India Today TV.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Amid the success of the film, Thalaiva's meet with the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister has sparked a mega political showdown. The superstar was seen calling on Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath for a special screening of the movie and touching the feet of Yogi, who is also the Mahant of revered Gorakhnath Mutt in eastern Uttar Pradesh. Taking a jibe at Rajini's gesture, DMK student wing chief R. Rajiv Gandhi accused the BJP of doing religious politics. Congress MP Karti Chidambaram slammed the superstar, accusing him of bowing down to what he called wild bulldozer. Rajni, who had earlier been on a religious trip of Char Dham Yatra, then headed to Ayodhya unfazed by criticism hurled at him, but not before calling on SP Chief Akhilesh Yadav and paid his respect to the late SP Patriarch Mulayam Singh Yadav. Taking a swipe at Chief Minister Yogi, Akhilesh wrote on Twitter, "People hug when hearts meet."
9 साल पहले बॉम्बे में एक फंक्शन में अखिलेश जी से मुलाकात हुआ था। उस दिन से हमारा दोस्ती चल रहे है, आपस में फोन में भी बात करते हैं।
On Sunday, Thalaiva visited Ayodhya and prayed at the famous Hanumangadi temple in the holy town.
Rajni sir, you are here at for Ram Leela Darshan. How do you see this, sir? Sir, open the catch, open.
That's one, yeah.
How do you see this, Rajni sir?
Yeah, बहुत भाग्यशाली हूँ मैं। ये बहुत सारा इरादा था, आज पूरा हो गया, आज पूरा है।
Rajinikanth, who shares special ties with political leaders, had earlier shied away from a political plunge, citing his health. But Thalaiva can certainly not stay away from political limelight. With Samar Srivastav in Lucknow, Bureau Report, India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Hello and welcome to this special broadcast. I'm Akshita Nandagopal. You're tuned into India Today, and as promised, we're getting you every single update that's coming in on Chandrayaan 3. I've been getting you all the updates at 6 p.m. every evening on the latest that Isro is putting out. I've now touched down in Bengaluru to get you the latest updates. I'm standing in the Jawaharlal Nehru Planetarium, and you can see behind me the theme of the day, and at this center is all about Chandrayaan 3. We're going to have experts, children, space enthusiasts all joining us over the next 30 minutes as we get you the special broadcast from Bengaluru, where all of the action is currently. But let me show you around first of what's happening right here, because behind me you've got several explainers of exactly how the Chandrayaan 3 functions. And interestingly, as I go forward here, I'm going to show you also exactly what lander Vikram and rover Pragyan look like. Here is, in fact, a model that's been put up at the planetarium to explain for children and for space enthusiasts exactly what this mission looks like. There is the lander Vikram. Hopefully, come tomorrow at 6:04 p.m., this is what the lander will look like on the south pole of the moon. And out of it will come out the Pragyan rover and continue to do its rounds on the surface of the moon for 14 days. Let me show you also other parts of what's set up here at the planetarium. You've got, in fact, models explaining exactly what the Chandrayaan 3 mission looks like, what they plan to accomplish as well. We're going to get you also a number of space scientists on this broadcast to explain what's expected over the next 32 hours, really. That's when the actual soft landing will take place. But before that, let's get you breaking news that's coming in now. What is ISRO's plan B? Well, we're all expecting Plan A will 100% succeed, but ISRO scientists are leaving nothing to chance. And India Today is getting you details of how really ISRO scientists are thinking through the entire process right now. If conditions aren't favorable tomorrow, what happens? Well, ISRO saying then we will attempt the soft landing directly on August 27th on Sunday. This is based on whether weather conditions are favorable or not. 2 hours before the soft landing happens tomorrow. So at about 4 p.m., we'll know whether the ISRO scientists have decided to go ahead or not. If weather conditions are favorable, they may choose to actually go ahead and skip the landing tomorrow and push it to Sunday. Besides that, another option is to actually change the landing site. Does that mean we'll move away from the South Pole? No, it will still be in the South Pole, but the landing spot could be 400 kilometers away from the current site. It will still be in the South Polar region, which remains largely unexplored, which is why this by itself is a hugely historic mission. But this is the plan B that they're putting forth. If weather conditions aren't perfect, then you could see ISRO actually pushing the landing from tomorrow 6:04 p.m. to Sunday. The time, of course, will be confirmed then, and this is something they'll know only 2 hours before the actual landing time. So 4 p.m. is when we can get that clarity. Secondly, if they decide that the current spot that they've chosen isn't favorable, isn't the best, they may push that to about 400 kilometers radius that they've identified, where they could move it back and forth.
I'm in ISRO Ahmedabad and I'm speaking to the director, Mr. Nilesh Desai, sir. Sir, how big is Gujarat's contribution to this massive mission that the entire country currently is proud of?
So, as you may be well aware, that Chandrayaan 3 mission has been conceived after the failure in soft landing during Chandrayaan 2 mission, which was done in 2019. So, after the failure in soft landing, of course, the orbiter mission of the Chandrayaan 2 was very successful, as all of you would have already read in newspaper or heard about it, that Chandrayaan 2 orbiter, which was designed to last for around 1 to 1.5 years, due to the availability of fuel, sufficient fuel, it is now going to last up to minimum 7 years. In 2019, when we were trying to soft land on the moon surface with our lander, due to an anomaly which was developed, I will call it a last mile problem, which is when we were 2 kilometers away, almost 2 kilometers away from the moon surface, due to the tilting of the lander, and there was a software anomaly, due to which instead of soft landing, we ended up in having a crash landing or hard landing. Yes. So after the failure of Chandrayaan 2 landing, ISRO and India decided that we should again try for soft landing, with our Chandrayaan 3 mission. So that's how Chandrayaan 3 mission was conceived.
Let me take this across to Nagarjun Dwarkanath and Sagaraj, both of whom have been getting us every single update coming in from Team ISRO. Naga, to you first. You know,